Good morning. It is Monday morning motivation time again.
Woo woo.
Chris Cooking Nashville. My beautiful wife Ash Taylor is here. How is everybody doing this morning? Hope you guys are having a great day.
Yeah, we're over here drinking our coffee, trying to wake up.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna have a fun, maybe deep, but hopefully not too heavy kind of a subject to talk about today.
I think we'll keep it pretty light.
Yeah,
It's Monday.
Listen, you just never know what it's going to be like around here. So
Definitely not.
But we have a busy Monday ahead, and hope that you guys have a wonderful and busy week ready to go because we have a whole bunch of cool stuff.
We do. Are you going to tell folks what we're doing today?
Yeah. We have a lot of stuff. So if you guys did not know, Mr. Dustin from Keto Simple is on his way to Nashville, and he's going to hang out with us for a couple of days. We're going to do some filming, and we're going to do a live stream tomorrow. We'll tell you guys about that a little bit. And we're going to enjoy some great food, and we're going to go to a Q&A tomorrow in Dixon that Dr. Barry and Nisha are going to be speaking at, and it's just going to be a really good time.
Yeah, we love Dustin a whole bunch, so we're excited to have him come stay with us, and looking forward to filming some content and videos.
That's right.
And you guys are doing a live stream. Is it tomorrow, right?
Yep, we're doing a live stream tomorrow in place of our Tuesday night lives that we would both normally be doing tomorrow. We're going to do a dual live stream around lunchtime tomorrow, talking about DaVinci Resolve, which is the software both Dustin and I use to edit our videos, because that whole TikTok and CapCut being owned by TikTok, that whole thing happened, and a bunch of creators in the keto and carnivore space were suddenly panicking, like, I need to edit videos and now this app doesn't work. What do I do? And it's CapCut. I've used it, and it's a good stopgap. It's very simple to kind of get into the world of video editing, but because of what it is, it's limited in functionality. You have to pay for a whole bunch of features. And apparently, because of political things that go one way or the other, it can just suddenly disappear. And we just wanted to give people an alternative, because even though I think CapCut is maybe working again for people, I'm not sure. Now everyone's confidence is kind of shaken in CapCut as being a video editing solution, because, well, what if it goes away again? And so Dustin and I thought it would be a cool thing to just tell people what we're using and give them kind of a quick, simple introduction, because DaVinci is a full video editing and color grading software that can be used at the level of like Hollywood movies for like color grading and all this kind of stuff. And I'm a big nerd about it. I really dive into it and I love it, but I know not a lot of people want to go to the depth that I do with it. But if you use it on sort of a more basic level as a video editor, it still does way, way more than CapCut ever would. And it's really not that much different. You just have to know where things are. You just have to kind of know how some of the things work. And so Dustin and I thought we would do a quick intro for people who might be looking for a better solution, because you can get a free version of DaVinci, which does 90% of what the paid version does.
Right.
It's going to stay that way forever. Most people who are going to be watching this and using DaVinci will never feel a need to actually pay for the pro version. If you decide you want to get super into video editing and you want all the options of the pro version, it's a one-time payment and you get a lifetime of free updates, and you have the software on your computer. They're not going to take it away from you like an app that you're trying to use on your phone. So there's just a lot of really cool things, and it's a far, far, far superior video editing suite. But it looks really confusing if you're coming from something like CapCut and you've never used it before. And it's not that it's hard, it just looks different, and you need to know where things are. So Dustin and I are going to help people who are in this kind of keto carnivore space where they're creating videos have a quick introduction to that. Awesome. We're going to do that tomorrow around lunchtime. So
tomorrow around lunchtime. And we'll stream to your channel.
It's going to be on my channel and on Dustin's channel, both. So you guys make sure you're subscribed. And if you're free, come join us live. And if you can't join us live to ask your questions, at least come watch the replay if you're interested in as a keto or carnivore creator, what are my options for video editing? And I'm going to show you some of the things that I do that make my videos look the way they do and that I use for all the editing tricks.
I will say really quick before we say hey to some folks, 3 things for anyone interested in this live stream. So one, I actually used to use CapCut for pretty much all of my reels and short video editing.
Right.
And so I'm one of those affected that now doesn't have it. So, and even before it could get really expensive depending on the features you wanted to use and all that. I will say it was very user friendly. So I was a little intimidated learning DaVinci Resolve, but I had Chris teach me, and it's actually a lot easier than you may think. So don't be overwhelmed. Especially I think it would speed it up learning from like you and Dustin who use it a bunch.
Right.
So don't be worried. But the other thing is, the more people, especially, creators, party. The more creators, though, that have the capability of editing their videos, and especially because DaVinci Resolve does such a better job with the quality of the editing and all that you're capable of doing.
Right.
I think it would actually improve your YouTube channel if you are a creator looking for a new way to like edit your videos. Absolutely. And even if you do still have CapCut, like you said, it's like, it's free. You can buy the paid version. You own it. It's not going away. And it would just kind of up your game, honestly, editing wise. So really cool.
Absolutely.
I'm really happy you guys are doing that.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be really great. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. And then I think he said that he and Chandra might be doing like either on Wednesday night or Thursday night, doing a live stream to kind of replace what they would have normally done on a Tuesday night.
Sure.
So we're just going to be kind of moving things around for you guys. But in the meantime, we're going to be filming and having some fun and doing some recipes. And I think tomorrow we're going to take Dustin to our favorite barbecue place.
Yeah, and then take him to the Q&A with Dr. Barry.
We'll go to the Q&A and just have some fun. So,
but
so if you guys are going to be in the Tennessee area tomorrow and you're able to go to that event in Dixon, let us know. We'd love to see you there. So.
Absolutely.
It's a free event, so it's super cool. Let's say hey to some folks and see who we got here.
Yeah.
Carrie's in the house, says rowing the boat up to the live stream since the boat is out of gas. My day is not really going well. I'm trying to make the best of it. Well, good for you, Carrie, for trying to make the best of it. I'm sorry your day is not going well. We will pray that it gets better for you, but we are glad you're here, my friend.
Absolutely.
And Rick is here. Good morning from Miami. Hello to you, Rick.
Hey,
Hope
Rick.
You are warm down there in Miami. I bet it's warmer there than it is here.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Stone is here, says, good morning from the Lone Star State. Hello, Stephen.
Hi,
so
Stephen.
good to see you, my brother. Stephen is one of our private community members.
Sure is.
And very active over there in the group, and we sure appreciate him.
It's awesome.
Carol is here. Hello, all from snowy Florida. Snow in Florida.
Snowy Florida.
That's a rare combination. So,
Yeah.
Carol, what part of Florida are you in? I'm just curious where it's snowing.
Yeah.
My mom is here, waving from ISS. Hello, Mom. And let's see. Carrie says, I've hit a mental wall and don't want to do anything. I'll do more studies, not sure what to do anymore. Well, Carrie, we have a subject matter today that I think will hopefully inspire you and help you out a little bit. We understand. I've been there myself, and I felt the same way. So hang in there.
Absolutely.
And let's see. She's not in timeout. Sherry is here. Good Monday morning. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
So glad you are here. Lynn is here. Good morning, Chris, Ash, and everyone. Yes, staying positive and just being grateful has a lot to do with my happiness.
Oh, I love that, Lynn. Yes.
Amen. And that's what we're going to be talking about
you.
today. It's amazing. Tanya is here. Good morning, all. Hello, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Addicted to Antler says, good morning from sunny Las Cruces, New Mexico. Hello to you.
Hello.
Have you collected any antlers lately? I don't know what time of the year you're going out and doing all that, but
if you collected some, let us know.
Yeah, if you collected some.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. There's my brother Victor from Southern Keto. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Victor. If you guys missed it, we did a live stream last night, a Keto Crusade, episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and Dustin of Keto Simple and Victor from Southern Keto.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic. The comment section was pumping, and we were having a great time.
It was a great live stream. I loved it.
Yeah, if you weren't able to tune in, make sure to go check out the replay because we had a really, really good time. And I think we talked about really good stuff.
Definitely.
Really, really cool. So Caleb is here from Caleb's Carnivore Quest. Hello, Caleb. We are so glad you are here. Caleb was on the live stream last night asking a bunch of questions. And
he sure was. I have to say, by the way, Caleb, I don't mean to call you out here, man, but I have to say, I'm a moderator clearly on Chris's channel. So while you guys were doing your Keto Crusade, I was in the comment section putting links and stuff in. But Caleb, if I read correctly, I believe that you're doing carnivore for 6 months now, which alone is incredible.
Yep.
If I also read correctly, Caleb is only 16 years old.
I didn't see that.
How cool is that? Like,
that's
at
amazing.
16, man. Like, wow.
Amazing. Man, I wish I would have found this kind of information when I was a lot younger. So,
well, Caleb, you're an inspiration.
amazing.
I saw a comment that said that. So correct me if I read something wrong. There was a lot going on, but
yeah,
I saw that and I was like, man, good for you, Caleb.
Yeah.
That's so freaking awesome.
That's amazing. Well, Caleb, we're really glad you're here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lynn saying hello to Victor. Addicted English says, yeah, life can sure throw us some curveballs. That's for sure, Carrie. Hang in there. We're all here for you. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There is my dad, Papa Nashville, in the house. Good morning,
Tony.
Dad. Nana1776 says, morning.
Morning.
Richard Williams, good morning, neighbors. Hello, neighbor, over there in Copper Hill.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aunt Kay is here. Carnivore Kay, how are you? Miss Kay says, good morning, beautiful friends.
Hi, beautiful.
And there is our friend Rebecca. Hey, y'all. Hello,
hey.
Rebecca. How are you?
Good to see you.
Rebecca is going to be closer to us here in Nashville. She and her husband at some point sooner than later. And we are definitely going to have to work together and maybe do some videos, maybe do some meetups in this area.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. She told me she's got plans, and I'm like, all right, sister, I'm on board.
Bring them on.
Let's have some fun. If you guys didn't know Rebecca, she is a coach in Dr. Barry's group, and she is awesome.
She's a cool lady.
She and her husband
She's
are
awesome.
great.
Yes.
Absolutely great.
Great people.
Lewis Stone is here, another member of our private community.
Hi, Lewis.
Hello, Lewis. Glad to see you, my friend. Patricia is here. Hi from South Carolina. Grandma, we had snow here last week.
Ooh, stay warm. Stay warm, Grandma.
Jeff Simmons is here. Good bone broth morning from Centralia, Washington. I love that. Good bone broth morning.
Good bone broth morning.
That is fantastic.
Man, some bone broth sounds good right now.
Yeah. If some of you guys are out there trying to figure out what can I do instead of coffee, if you're trying to do that no coffee thing to see if you feel better without coffee, bone broth is a really great thing to sort of add into your morning. So you have something warm and tasty, and the collagen is real good for you and all that kind of stuff, but you're not getting the caffeine in the coffee. That's a really great option. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rick says, you get to meet Dustin. Let's get dangerous. LOL.
Oh, it's going to be wild.
Yeah. Dustin, we met Dustin for the first time actually in person at KPL, at Keto Palooza, and we had a blast hanging out with him. So this is going to be a little bit more dedicated time just for the three of us to kind of hang out and get to work and do some videos together and stuff. So we're looking forward to it. So
that would be great.
Rick says, I hope to one day have a computer powerful enough to edit videos. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. If you want to do this kind of stuff and you want to be able to jump into that kind of stuff, it takes the gear, because technology just moves so fast anymore. So
find other things and edit on your phone and have things, but you are just kind of limited. So it's part of it.
Yep, one step at a time.
Yep.
Lynn says, just wanted to say I really enjoyed Keto Crusade last night. Each week it gets better and better. Always positivity there. You three rock on doing this each month. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Lynn. We appreciate that. We are really trying to just create something special for the community. Yeah. The community really needs more community and more support, especially certain parts of it, and we're just trying to make this something where everyone can be included and everyone can enjoy and feel like they have a place to go.
Preach it.
So,
yes.
Rebecca says CapCut is working, but my son is starting to look into DaVinci. Yeah. So, Rebecca, I would say if you're not able to tune in live, come back and watch what Dustin and I are going to do, talking about it kind of on the front end. I'm also going to link to several channels that I used to learn how to do DaVinci, because for you guys that don't know, I used to use my breaks when I was at work in my day job and my cell phone with CapCut, and that's how I would edit videos. And then I started trying to step up my game. So if you watch my first videos and now you watch my current videos, you can see how much work I've put into this. But I was trying to step up my game, so I started doing color correction and color grading on DaVinci. So I would edit my videos, export them on my phone, come home, put them on a computer, and then do a color correction. Well, then I started learning to edit in DaVinci, but it was very difficult because I had no clue what I was doing. I was totally self-teaching here, and I was using some online resources, some YouTube channels, trying to learn how to do all this from the ground up. And it took a long time, but I finally got it. And now all my stuff is done in DaVinci. I've been doing that for a while now. And with the whole CapCut issue, I'm really glad because it didn't affect me at all. And I'm going to kind of show you guys why I'm so glad that I switched over and what you can do just even in a very simple way, just really, really simple stuff for people who don't want to nerd out over editing and color grade the way that I do. Like, I'm going to show you the simple way of doing it. And Dustin, I'm sure, has amazing tips and tricks that he'll be showing you as well. So it's really cool. But yeah, Rebecca, come back and watch that and see if maybe it gives you some info and maybe your son might find it helpful. So, and then we'll link to some channels where he can get a lot more info than Dustin and I can even give. Kay says, yes, Lynn, Crusade was great last night. Yeah, we had a really good time. Ann D is here this morning, says, good Monday morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Lynn says, I'm not a creator and never will be, but I will be there with you and Dustin anyway, just to hang out. Well, Lynn, we appreciate that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, never say never, because you just never know what's going to go on. So, not to mention, if Lynn had a channel, I would watch every video Lynn did all day long, every day, because I would love it. She'd have
like 20 million subscribers probably.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves Lynn.
Yeah, everyone loves Lynn. Everyone knows Lynn.
Yep.
Lynn is just the goat, as they say.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Even if you're not, though, I mean, she brings up a great point. If you're not a creator, you and Dustin are just going to be up here hanging out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just come in and hang out.
Come hang out and share the video and comment, whatever, because it helps the algorithm find it, and it helps more people, maybe who are creators, realize we're doing it. So
yeah, because I think a lot of people right now are just stuck.
Yeah. Even though CapCut is now working again, some people deleted the app and then they can't get it back. And then even with it working now, I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't really know if I want to use that anymore, because what if it goes away again?
Right. And then you're kind of stuck. So yeah.
Right. Margaret Chase is here. Hi, Chris Ash and all low carbers.
Hi, Margaret.
Let's see. We have Chili Harder. Hello to you all.
Hi, Chili.
Have a wonderful day. Rebecca says, not in Tennessee until summer. Well, that's all right. Summer's going to be here, I bet, faster than we can imagine. So
definitely.
Rick wants to know, so when will you make an engine cooking series of videos? LOL.
Only with your help, Rick. Only with your help.
That's right.
We're calling an expert.
Oh, there's our buddy Dean Watkins.
What's
morning,
up, Dean?
guys. Can't wait for today's sermon. Yes, sir, my brother. Rock
Preaching
on.
it.
Good to see you.
Dean.
Cranky Carnivore Cutler's here. That's awesome. I started to get into DaVinci Resolve a few years ago, but gave up my YouTube dreams after I developed PTSD from an auto accident. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, DaVinci is really, really cool. And you know, it's like anything. You learn it one step at a time, but it's a great solution. So
definitely.
Melanie is here, morning from Southern Idaho, where it's 8 degrees and wind chill is -4.
Woo!
That is cold.
Try to stay warm.
Yes.
It's wild.
Very glad you're here, Melanie. Diane is here every morning. I create a mental list of things I'm going to do and do none of them. Listen, I relate. I absolutely relate. So totally understand.
Yep.
Margaret Chase says, by the way, everybody hit the like button. Yes, thank you so much. You guys hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Of course,
with you,
yeah, see if the phone will actually pick it. Hey, there it goes. All right. Sometimes it has to sit there and think. So
yeah.
Cindy dropped in for a second to say hello. We're on our way out. Sorry, we'll catch replay on both. Well, have fun, Cindy. Appreciate you dropping in for a minute.
Yeah, thank you.
And Caleb says, yes, I'm 16.
So cool, man.
Man,
so cool.
That's amazing. You are an inspiration who can teach a lot of the older folks in the world what it's like to learn this kind of stuff and make these decisions while you're young.
Yeah. And also other young people.
Yes. And you're a huge inspiration to people that are 16 as well.
Yeah.
So
I think the young people nowadays may actually need it more sometimes.
Well, I think young people are so much the target of the marketing of junk food and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, when you're young, you feel like you're bulletproof and you can just do whatever. And the marketing out there is like, oh, you just have this. This is fun. This is great.
Yeah.
And then you get, like me, you get to be 30 years old and suddenly you're almost 400 pounds and you're like, what happened to me?
Right.
You know? So Caleb, I'm so glad, man, that you're here.
Yeah, man, you're
you
freaking rock star, dude.
Yeah. Lewis Stone says, rock on, Caleb. Yes, rock on, Caleb.
Definitely so.
Rick says, yes, I was 15 when I started carnivore, and I think it changed my life. Absolutely. It's amazing. Lynette is here. Good morning.
Beautiful.
Hello, you beautiful lady.
She's wonderful.
Yes, Lynette is awesome. We're so glad she is here. Mary is here. Good morning from Oregon. Hi, Mary.
Aw, hi, Mary.
Rebecca says, aw, thanks, y'all. I am blushing.
Oh.
PJ St. Pierre is here. She says, good morning from the woods of up north Michigan. Well, we were so glad you're here, PJ. Southern Keto says, I have done all the experiments. I do not feel better without coffee.
Same here.
Right here. Same.
I just become a walking hazard to everyone around me.
It's a real thing.
Not good.
It's a real thing. Robert Hanna says, good morning. Hello, Robert.
Good morning, Robert.
And Rick wants to know, can you edit videos on a rotary phone?
A rotary phone. Oh,
listen, if you find out how, you let me know, because that would be...
Can you even buy those anymore? That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
I love it.
Auntie is here. Good morning, Chris and Ash, and good morning, everyone. Hi, Auntie. We appreciate you.
Hi, Auntie.
John Wise is here. Says, hello. Just got here. 13 minutes behind. Catching up at 1.5 speed.
Awesome. Glad you're here.
Purple Love and Nana is here. Late joining, but just came over from 2 Crazy Ketos.
Awesome. Glad you're
Excellent.
here.
We are so glad you are here. Everybody's saying hello to everyone. I love this. Rebecca says, if you have a story, you should start a channel.
This is very true.
I agree. And you don't have to put like the time and the work into this that I put into it. I mean, I'm obsessive at the best of times, but just doing like a vlog kind of a thing where you just sit and tell your story or talk about what you're going through in your journey as a keto or carnivore person and just posting it. Like when I started my channel, my whole thing was, even if I only inspire one person, it will be worth it.
I think the other thing too is like sometimes I think this is the case with a lot of things. People are always they think they have to have a really crazy, miraculous story, or it's like, oh, I need to lose like 400 pounds or, 300 pounds, something crazy like that. And then I can start a YouTube channel and then I can tell my story. And it's like, no, like, people are on different levels and they have different stories and backgrounds, and everyone does have a story. And it's like, just start putting stuff out there, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Right. You can just reach more people that probably really need to hear your story and what you've been through. Yeah.
And I also think, a lot of people are hesitant to do this because they're like, well, I don't know how to do videos, and I don't know how to record, and I don't know how to edit, and all these things. Like, I don't know how to do any of that. So I would need to learn all of that before I could post. And what I would say is, you just have to hit record and start posting. You will get better at it as you go, because you can't have better current videos without crappy previous ones.
Yes.
Like, you have to start with bad videos. All of us do. Every single YouTuber out there has started with videos that you think are great when you post them. Maybe you don't think they're great when you post them, but maybe they're not good. But you post them, and then years later you look at their videos and you look at compared to where they started, and you realize how much better they got along the way. And that's just how it works. So if it's something you're willing to do, post your story. Rebecca is right. It's awesome.
Progress over perfection.
Absolutely. Sherry says, I will be there. I want to learn how to put some of my puppy dogs videos together for my channel. In the past, I've just used iMovie. Yeah, ooh. Sherry, that's a great thing to do, to be able to put those things together. And I think it's awesome that you want to be able to do that. And iMovie is okay for like very quick, just user-friendly stuff. Yeah. But it's limited on what you can really do. It's much easier to use something that's a full editing suite, like say a DaVinci Resolve. So, and
I love puppy videos, so I'm really excited for sure when you get that up and going on your channel. I'll subscribe. Yeah. So Caleb's Carnivore Quest says, I thought I would never have a channel either, but here I am. So everybody do us a favor and go subscribe to Caleb's Carnivore Quest. Yeah. I will be doing the same when we are done with the live stream. I will go find it. And in fact, I know Auntie is here. If there's any other moderators here too, if you wouldn't mind, grab the link for Caleb's Carnivore Quest and drop his channel in the chat here. And I will go subscribe. And if you guys are watching a replay of this,
I will put Caleb's Carnivore Quest in the description box down below. You guys go subscribe
Showing
to
some
him.
love.
Yep. Being 16 years old and starting this, and not just starting it, but having the confidence to put it online and show people and inspire people. What a great thing. We need more people that are that age, that are young, that are doing this from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That are showing people. I think it's fantastic.
Super cool.
Let's see. Auntie says, I have one video, OMG, hilarious fail, but it's there. That's all right.
Yeah.
If you guys ever if you haven't done this, if you ever have some time, go to my channel, go to my videos, and sort them by oldest to newest, and go watch the very first video I put on this channel. It's bad.
Yes.
It's bad. And that's okay, because I had no clue what I was doing.
But, that's where you started. And I mean, and you just see the progress. And, one thing I always actually love to do from time to time is we've done this when we've been putting together like things for the channel. But if you go watch Chris's first video, not only is the video itself absolutely terrible, and the lighting is horrible and the sound and just everything. And it's also like 35 minutes to make one simple thing. Like we didn't know anything about what we were doing. But I love Chris's transformation through it. Like not only can you look and see he's visibly lost weight, but for me, it's like his personality is like totally different. Like on his first couple videos on his channel, he's like, hey guys, I'm Chris. Like he's just very monotone. You have no energy, no personality. And then like you watch I was still struggling with trying to get out of like depression and anxiety and all this stuff. Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was like so crazy to me though, because you can literally not only see the channel grow and like things get better video wise, but you see his weight loss, but you see him literally become a different person within the course of like a year. And you're just like, oh my gosh. I actually have some pictures I'm going to show you guys today of where I have come from. So once we get to the end of these comments, that's part of what I'm going to show you. Let's do it. Caleb says, I never thought I would talk to Chris and Ash. I never thought I would meet Bella, and I never thought I would get a picture with Carrie Mann, but it happened. Caleb, you got a bunch more fun future things going on if you're doing this already 6 months in at 16. It's crazy. I also talking to Chris and Ash. I think they're kind of weird and crazy. Listen, we are. We are crazy. But dude, that's so cool though. Yeah, it's amazing, man. We're really, really glad you're here though, Caleb. You are a big time inspiration. Yes. And you have a bright future ahead, my friend. That's cool. It's fantastic. Lynn says the hilarious thing is that I have 7 YouTube subscribers now, which is amazing since I don't even have a channel. So now how do I get monetized? Too funny. That's so funny. So if you guys didn't know, this actually just brings up an interesting point. If you want to be monetized on YouTube, you have to hit 1,000 subscribers. You have to hit 4,000 public watch hours in a 365-day period. And that makes you eligible to apply for monetization. You then apply, and then YouTube will review your channel and the content you're putting up to see if you meet all of their requirements. It's mostly like you're not violating any user agreements. You're not doing things that would violate the agreements that advertisers have and all that kind of stuff. And then if they approve you, then they monetize your channel. So if you guys want for fun, feel free to go subscribe to Lynn. Let's see how many subscribers we can get her, even though she doesn't have a channel. I just think it's funny. We'll work on getting you monetized. We got you, Lynn. That's right. Absolutely, yeah. That's right. Let's see. Auntie says, Caleb, that's amazing. Absolutely. Major props to Caleb for just being here, because I feel like as a teenager like that, it can be daunting to step into something like this, which is dominated by mostly adults and usually older adults, and step into this kind of thing where it's like you can be a little out of your element sometimes as a teenager when you first start doing something like this. Yeah. And to have the confidence to do it and then to be sharing your success, that's amazing. Yeah. Super freaking cool. I don't know at 16 if I would have been able to do that. So I don't know. Good on you, Caleb. We appreciate you. Andy is here, says, hi, guys. I watched the Instagram on Mel and realized your dog's name is Melody. My granddaughter's name is Melody. Oh, how sweet. That's awesome. That's amazing. Rebecca says, Caleb and my son Jacob, who's 17, should do a video together. That would actually be really cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, you guys connect. Margaret says to Caleb, as we say in Massachusetts, I'm wicked impressed. Nice. That's awesome. Auntie says, I'll never forget the second time I met Dr. Barry. He knew my name. Well, Auntie, you're kind of a celebrity. So, I mean, that's, makes sense.
AAA says, what if I don't have a mind? Well, then you wouldn't be able to type out the question, what if I don't have a mind?
Solid point.
Caleb says, I'm down, Rebecca. Well, cool. You guys should connect. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Caleb's asking what state y'all live in. Obviously, we're in Tennessee, and Rebecca and all of them will eventually be in Tennessee, but close to Tennessee, technically Kentucky. But
looks like they're she subscribed. She's on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't you just love connecting people?
This is why we do this.
That's awesome.
This whole community is so supportive and so great. This is awesome. Caleb says, the more channels we have, the more positive carnivore looks to people who don't know. We got to overtake the vegans. I agree. Yeah. I agree. And here's the deal. Like, listen, I love the vegans, right? We don't have anything against vegans as long as they're kind. My
best friend is actually vegan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and she's very sweet and very supportive. Like, yeah. I mean, we have full conversations. I mean, it's a whole thing. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing, somebody may be different than you and maybe you don't agree with their beliefs, but that doesn't mean that you can't be friends or get along or be civil.
Absolutely.
Because we're all just human at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. But we also want to make sure, Caleb makes a really good point. The more positive carnivore channels we have that are making this look positive to people, the better job we do of getting through a lot of like the vegan press and the media and all the things to give people the hope that carnivore or even keto, meat heavy keto kind of things can bring them, because we are fighting an uphill battle when it comes to the image of what meat does to us, because it has been there's been a lot of propaganda that has talked about how bad meat is for you that does not have any actual studies behind it. And so we're trying to inspire and encourage people. And Caleb is right. The more people we have involved in this, the more positive and just common sense this looks, and the less it looks crazy.
Yes.
So, and that's what we're trying to do is, we don't want to bully people into being carnivore. We want to inspire people into being carnivore.
Yeah.
And we want to not look like we're nuts. We want to look like we are well-researched and stable people who are kind and understanding without bending to the propaganda.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Love it.
Paul is here, says, I switched to bulletproof green tea sweetened with allulose instead of coffee. That's awesome.
Good deal, man. That sounds awesome.
That is awesome. Margaret says, holy smokes, we just had an earthquake in Massachusetts. Sorry to interrupt with that news, but it reminds us to stay positive for sure. Well, there you go. That'll wake you up.
Well, hopefully you're all right.
Yeah. Caleb says, thank you guys for the channel advice. You're welcome, Caleb.
No worries,
hey,
man.
Listen, I love being a nerd about YouTube and everything. So Caleb, my email, it's on my website, but it's just info@chriscookingnashville.com. Shoot me an email. And if you ever have questions about like running a YouTube channel, let me know. And maybe I can send you some resources that really helped me build up, and we'll get you some resources to help you get going.
Yeah. When my husband says he's a nerd about this stuff, he's not lying, Caleb. I just want to let you know.
I'm a major nerd.
He's in it, though. He'll help you out.
Dustin is here. He says, I'm in the car and listening.
What's
we'll
up,
drive
Dustin?
safe, my
He's
brother.
on the way to our house.
That's right. So the beard is not in the building. The beard is in the Buick.
Does he drive a Buick?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just needed some alliteration.
All right. That's fair.
Let's see. Did you see, Sonny is here, says, did you see Paul Saladino is on Patrick Bet David's newest video talking about eating healthier? I did not see that, but that's really interesting. So Paul Saladino and I differ a little bit on some of the things about like fruit and honey. However, his approach to health is a whole lot better than the standard American diet, and his promoting of the healthy benefits of eating a heavy meat diet. Even if you don't agree with all the fruit and the honey thing that he does, because we all have kind of different outlooks on that stuff, his promotion of meat being a main source of what he is eating is still really great. And he, agree or disagree with him, his ability to get his message into a much larger market is undeniable. And so it's like, I may not agree with everything that he says statement wise, but I appreciate the fact that he is pushing what is a much better alternative to a lot of the stuff that is out there, like the veganism and eating standard American diet, and counting your calories and eat less, move more, and all the various things that have failed us all for so many decades.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
that's super cool. I'll have to check that video out, Sonny. Thank you so much for letting us know.
super cool.
Let's see. Everybody just saying hello. Look who it is. Maritza is here. Good
Hi,
morning.
Maritza.
Another one of our rock star moderators.
Yeah.
Caleb says progress over perfection. I'll remember that. Yes, absolutely.
We got a whole thing we're going to talk about today. So all good.
Rebecca says, Caleb, 1% better every day. That's
Amen.
right. That is right. Sherry says there are 20 videos there now of Nevada, some of which are 15 years old back when she was competing and rehabbing from an injury.
Aww.
The first video was her learning how to dive to the bottom of the pool. That's awesome.
Oh, Sherry, I got to go check all this out. I feel like I've been missing out.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Sunny says it's hard to get used to talking to a camera. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Let me tell you, I felt super awkward, especially sitting in a patrol car on a lunch break doing security and sitting there with my bulletproof vest on and then being like, so let me tell you today about the weight that I've lost. Like, that's a weird thing to do, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. And it's really fun.
But if you're not doing it, even if you're not perfect at it, well, then how do you ever expect to be better?
Right.
And sorry, I'm going to use you as an example.
Go for it.
I actually
Absolutely.
think you're a really good example of this.
Absolutely.
But like I was saying, if you go back to Chris's first couple of interviews, his first couple of videos on this channel that you're watching on, it's like, he's not as good as talking in front of a camera as he is today. But it's like, well, wait a second, you've now done this for a couple of years. You get that experience. Like, it's just part of it. But yeah.
Yep.
Don't, because you're not perfect at it, don't just not do it.
Yep.
Like, just practice and do it.
Yep. You just get better at it every time. Caleb says you guys are awesome. Well, you're very kind. And he says, I want everyone to know that you can do it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kimberly is here, says, make sure you guys thumbs up. Yes, please hit that thumbs up for us. We appreciate that. Tells YouTube that this is something valuable and just helps. So, oh, look who it is. Ketogenic woman joining in late. Hi, Anita. She says, hey there, Chris and Ash. If you guys don't know, Anita at Ketogenic Woman was the first creator on YouTube that took an interest in what I was doing, shared one of my recipes, featured it. And I credit her with being the reason I got the jump start that made Chris Cooking Nashville a reality. Because I think it was basically my parents and Ash and probably Lynn watching my videos. And that was pretty much it. And it was funny, Dustin and Victor and I were actually talking after our live stream last night about analytics. And I'd pulled up my channel views. And I went back to the very beginning of the channel. And it's like 7 views. Like, so it's going by day. 7 views one day, 14 the next day, 5 the next day, 0 the next day, 1 the next day. That's what my views looked like. And then suddenly one day I got 1,200 views. And I was like, that's when Anita started sharing my stuff. Yep. And you can see it, like it just spikes. And then what I did was I was like, okay, this is a boost. This is Anita showing some confidence in what I'm doing. She's helping me out. I got some momentum with that. And I dove in hardcore and I went all in on learning how to harness that momentum and keep it going. And Anita has been so kind as to help me multiple times with things since then. Yeah. And she is just the sweetest and loveliest lady. And she's just family with us at this point. And we get to meet her at Meat Stop.
I know.
Up in May. We're super
Anita,
excited.
You got a hug coming your way from me. So we are so excited to meet you in person. It's going to be so awesome.
Yes.
So cool.
Absolutely. Rick says, I remember arguing with my parents about my diet in 1983 to 1993. And that's the thing. It's hard for people to understand this, even those who we would want the people who are closest to us to be the most supportive. And sometimes they're the least. And it's not necessarily because they mean to be. Sometimes they just don't understand. So, but that's why we have this community here where we can all share and support each other because it can be hard sometimes. But
absolutely.
But yeah. Caleb says, I'm in Idaho.
Oh,
man,
cool,
you're a long way away from Nashville, but if you make it this direction, you let us know. And if we make it out towards Idaho on tour or something, we will let you know.
Definitely.
And would be really cool to hook up and share a steak, my brother.
Yeah.
Kimberly says, my husband is so excited that I ordered everything to make the Ritz crackers.
Nice.
Yes.
Who doesn't love a good cracker, man?
Absolutely. Caleb says, I judge a person based on character, not on what they eat. And there you go.
100%, man. 100%.
There you go. Carnivore Transformation is here. Howdy, neighbors over here in Hendersonville making carnivore pancakes today. Well, hello, neighbor. Let us know if you want to be a taste tester or meet up for a steak sometime because you are not far away.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lynn says, one of my good friends is vegan. We just decided it was best to just steer away from talking about nutrition and what we're eating. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Still great friends. And that's the thing. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it's so awesome.
That is awesome. And Sunny says, yes, I agree. It's about Paul's message of eating healthier. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And, listen, we can dive into all of the details of what we think is or isn't better one way or the other. But to some extent, like, we've just got to get people over the first hump into the world of meat is not hurting you. And then we can start niching down into, okay, well, how many carbs and what should you include and oxalates and all these other things. And that's all important. But majority of the world, we just got to get them over that first hurdle of not thinking meat is the devil.
Also, something I thought was really cool is Dr. Paul Saladino fairly recently, just a few weeks ago, was actually on a business podcast that I listened to with a creator that I absolutely love, Cody Sanchez. And Cody Sanchez has a very successful podcast.
Yes.
She has so many people on there that are like big, huge names in all these different, markets.
She is successful on the level of attending events where she is a featured speaker alongside people like Michaela Peterson,
Yes.
Jordan Peterson.
She literally was
Very
on
successful
Good
lady.
Morning America. She's a self-made millionaire. She writes books. I mean, she's incredible.
Yeah.
And she had Dr. Paul Saladino on.
Yep.
And clearly that is a huge reach. And he did talk about all of these important things about getting away from processed foods and chemicals in your environment and all this stuff. And why maybe we all don't agree with his exact methods when you break it down, you cannot deny that that man just went on a huge platform and got a lot of people to stop and go, wait a second, should I be eating this processed this or that? So, just because we always don't see eye to eye on these little details doesn't mean someone's less than. And I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Because if you just got people to simply stop eating packaged foods and just kind of start heading this way, eventually over time. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's so cool that he's going on bigger platforms. And even if, listen, I ain't going to hate the man because he decides he wants to eat some honey and fruit. I'm just impressed that he's able to go on a big platform and try to encourage and motivate people. It's
Absolutely.
like, dude, come on now. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Margaret says, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice.
Come on now.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Caleb says, wow, Ketogenic Woman is a real OG. And yes,
she's a real
she
OG.
Absolutely is.
Totally.
Ketogenic Woman was one of the people, Anita was one of the people who was inspiring me to start doing carnivore recipes, because she was one of the first ones that I really found that was trying to do some carnivore recipes, because there's a handful of people that were doing it before I started doing it, but not a lot. And most of the recipes were all just kind of the same things being rehashed. And nothing against any of those creators. They were doing cool stuff, but it just didn't go near as far as I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And, Anita was one of the ones who was starting to let's experiment. Let's see what we can do here. And let's figure out how to take ingredients that work for you, but then use it in a way that means something to people who are trying to feed a family. She talks about that all the time. Like, a lot of her viewers, it's like, I have a family to feed. I have kids. I have grandkids. And I don't want to eat junk, and I want to be able to feed them healthy things, but they're not going to eat a steak and just be happy with it right now. Like, that's not an overnight switch for a lot of families. And so Anita was doing that. And so I took a lot of inspiration from her. My dad is the one who actually told me about her because my dad watches Anita all the time and loves her stuff. So, and she says, "Oh, Chris, you are too kind. Love you guys. We love you.
We love you lots."
She says, "You took it and ran with it. So proud of you, and can hardly wait until I see you guys in May. It's going to be a blast."
I have to say really quick too, you told me something really cool last night, and talking about your story and how Anita was kind enough to, help you and encourage you and kind of get your channel off the ground and everything.
Yeah.
So clearly, like you said, when you started, you were not too sure about stuff, and it's like you had really no one but your parents, me and Lynn, kind of watching your channel. But so you took it and you ran with it. Yes. But how many views are we about to hit on the Chris Cooking Nashville channel?
We are at 5.9 million views total across the channel right now. So within hopefully the next week, depending on how videos do, within the next week or 2 weeks, I'm hoping we're going to hit 6 million views.
6 million views, and we have 120,000 subscribers.
Yep. We're about to cross 120,000 subscribers.
And all of this happened because Anita wanted to help and encourage and motivate somebody.
Yep.
Powerful example.
Yep.
Really cool.
Hence the fact we do Monday morning motivation.
That's why we're here.
That's right.
It's awesome.
Oh, here's Cheryl Miller. She just found us last night on Keto Crusade.
Yeah,
She says,
awesome.
hello, glad you were on this morning. I'm going to go back and see your recipes for keto. Well, thank you, Cheryl. I have a whole bunch of recipes, and I have a whole bunch more coming. And, and here's the thing. Just because a recipe is carnivore doesn't mean if you're keto, you can't eat it.
True.
It's just even that much lower carb. It's just like an animal-based ingredient list instead of, plant-based, or instead of including as much plants. But everything carnivore is acceptable in a keto diet. So you can use any of my recipes if you're doing keto.
Yeah.
Lynn says, yep, I sure was one of your 7 views you got on videos, but hey, I stuck around and now look at you, Chris. I had faith in you.
Oh, Lynn, you're awesome.
You are amazing.
Love it.
Andy says, I'm learning community. This time it's so vital. I'm so happy I finally found some places, even though they're online, to help me feel less alone. Totally understand.
Absolutely. And we're here for you.
We are here for you. That's why we do what we do. That's why I have the private community that's linked in the description box. Like, community is important. It is so helpful to not feel alone doing this. So, let's see. Kathy Reyes here says, good morning, Caleb. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
And Sherry says, just subscribe to Caleb's Carnivore Quest. We have the same amount of subs. Let's see how long that will last. Race is on. Just kidding.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fantastic. Karen is here from Low Carb Spin. Hi, Chris and Ash.
Hi.
With all these tasty recipes coming out, I'm going to have to work way less days in order to play in the kitchen. Thanks.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah. I told Chris, I feel like he's on a roll recently with recipes. We got carnivore potato chips, carnivore crackers. He's got them all. He's on it.
Kathy has a good question. She says, will there be any footage from tomorrow's event? So probably not from Dustin and I, because we are attending. I feel like it would probably be a little rude and inappropriate to have our cell phones out during a Q&A. Now, if you're part of Dr. Barry's private group, I know that they are doing a stream for their members.
Nice.
I'm a part of his group, and his group is amazing. So if you are in the tribe in Dr. Barry's group, they will be live streaming it to an unlisted YouTube video that you'll get access to if you're part of the tribe. So so that's an option. But we might be able to get some video clips that I might be able to put into like a recap video or something later. I'm sure we'll have all kinds of video clips. We can put together a recap video of having Dustin here with us. But as far as the event itself, it's not something we're going to live stream or anything like that, because I don't think Dustin and I are really in a position where we kind of have permission or should take the initiative to do that. I think the people in charge of that event should be the ones that decide if they do or don't want to stream. So
sure. I want to be respectful.
Yeah. But if I hear of it being streamed anywhere other than Dr. Barry's group, I will certainly let you guys know.
Definitely.
Let's see. Everyone's just saying hello. Kitchen Witch 1885 is here. Hello. In the beginning, I had 2 processed sheets, Mission Zero Carb tortillas and Rebel Zero Carb ice cream. It was hard to give those up. Just took time. And that's the thing. Just one thing at a time. We just work on it. Again,
it's progress over perfection.
Yep.
That's awesome, though. Good for you.
Absolutely. And let's see. And Sherry says, thanks, Auntie, for dropping the link to her channel in there, which she dropped above for you guys in the chat.
Yep.
And let's see. Yeah, Sherry, unfortunately, only mods can share links in my chat, because otherwise you just end up being spammed by stuff, which just kind of makes the whole thing. So
but y'all go subscribe to Sherry.
Show her some love. Absolutely. And let's see. Carnivore Transformation says, I got into carnivore due to the amazing transformation story of Limitless Lindy, who has lost over 500 pounds on carnivore. Found your channel shortly after and got hooked. Well, I'm so glad you were here. And yes, Limitless Lindy has an amazing, amazing story. It is really incredible. So, well, speaking of amazing stories, let's talk about what we're talking about today. And I'm going to show you some pictures just to kind of help you guys understand. Ash made a point. If you watch my first video, I seem like, hey, this is Chris. Like, I'm very much that way.
It's not being dramatic. That's literally what he sounds like.
And honestly, that's the way I was all the time. I was very depressed, and I didn't recognize it as depression, but now I do. I was really struggling. I don't think sometimes people understand where I come from and how it is I've gotten here. And it was in a Tuesday night live stream, I believe it was last week, that someone made the comment that they did not like my channel because I'm not actually doing what I say that I'm doing, because I still have a belly and, you know, these different kinds of things. And we addressed that in the live stream. But, you know, I also made the point, there are so many more things than just weight loss that come along with eating this way and living this lifestyle. And your mind and your mindset are what dictate how all of the rest of this is going to work. You are not going to be successful at losing weight, living a full, happy life, if your mind is not in the right place. And if you are not guarding your mind and guarding your perspectives on things. So I just want to show you guys, I'm going to share some pictures here with you. First of all, if anyone ever says to you, oh, that guy Chris is not actually a carnivore, and he still has a belly, and, you know, he's just lying to you about what he's done, which just blows my mind, because I'm literally like documenting it for over a year on the channel, and you can go watch those. But if anybody ever says to you, Chris is lying, this is just a little bit of a picture of where I come from. Okay? And I don't look like that anymore.
No, and if I can chime in just really quick too.
Absolutely.
So
I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna show some different pictures. So here's one. You go ahead.
Well, this picture in particular. So this is actually not too long after I met Chris, but when I first was introduced to Chris and we first met, he was heavier than what you see there.
Yep.
So, and he didn't jump on a scale, so unfortunately there's no record of it. And I understand that. Like, why, if you know you're that heavy, why would you want to jump on a scale? It's just depressing. But yes, so at one point, I believe you're even heavier than that. So please go ahead.
Okay, so there's a good picture. Let's see what else we have here picture-wise. Okay. Grab another one. I've got a whole bunch of these pulled up to share with you guys.
You got all the goodies.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good one. You can really see my face really well in this one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. This was, so I was working security, and so this definitely was not me at my heaviest. This was after I had lost some weight. But I mean, you can see like my second chin is bigger than my first one.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's go to, look at me getting all technical today and sharing pictures.
I didn't know we could do this. This is awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Golly, look at the beard there. The long goatee.
Yeah.
The pants that I'm wearing there, I believe, are 48s. 48 waist.
I can see a huge difference alone in your fingers and your wrists.
Yeah.
And especially like in your forearms. Like, I mean, I can see a huge difference just there alone.
Okay.
You also look miserable.
Yeah, I was miserable.
You look like you're...
Well, I was in pain constantly. Yeah. Everything hurt. I mean, standing on stage like that, my feet, my knees, everything hurt. This is a really interesting one. I was in the studio. This is, I think, before I met Ash. And that shirt, I no longer have that button-up overshirt there. But you can see how tightly packed my arms are inside that shirt. Like, it looks like a sausage casing around my arm. You know? And that Johnny Cash shirt, I still have that Johnny Cash shirt, and it is loose on me now. Right. Okay. Let's see. I've got another one here. Yeah. So I'm not the only one that has had a big transformation.
Yep. So this picture right here was actually, this was about my heaviest. And I had already lost about 30 pounds before that. That was taken at my brother's wedding. Yeah. So that's me at my heaviest. But just remember that we're fakes and liars, and we don't.
Right. Correct. We're fakes. We don't actually do what we say we're doing, and we haven't lost any weight.
Yeah. No, but it's true. And, you know, I think I'd like to say, I think it kind of takes courage to kind of show where you started from and where you are. But, this picture.
A lot of people have seen this picture, but this was right before we started keto for the first time.
And again, look at your face.
Yep.
That face that you see, that expression.
That's how I was all the time.
All the time. I'd be like, hey, do you want to go do this? No.
Yep.
Like, do you want to go take the puppy on a walk? I can't. Like he couldn't walk a few feet and he'd have to sit down. And
Yep.
the man's 30 years old.
Yep.
Like,
yep. Absolutely.
Don't get me started.
I don't even own those shorts anymore because there would be
No.
no way I could even keep them on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was just so swollen and so just overweight, all these things. Now, this is not to say that I don't have extra weight that I still need to lose.
Yep,
I absolutely do. But it's just it's an understanding of where I come from. So just one last one, just so you guys understand this is the health change that I'm faking and lying about right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that I don't still have extra weight to lose in that picture where I'm holding my guitar? No, I still have extra weight to lose for sure. But the happiness, the pain that has gone away, the skin issues that are gone, like all of these different things that have changed so much in my life. It's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a completely different person. And all of this is made possible by my mind being in a completely different place than it used to be. So the thing that I want to really try to emphasize for you guys, this picture I've shared on the channel a number of times. This picture right here,
Mm-hmm.
that look that is on my face, that is the mind of a person who is dealing with not only all of my physical issues, but also the mental issues that I had of anxiety and depression. And I mean, honestly, I looked in the mirror and I saw that every day, and I absolutely hated what I saw.
Yeah.
I hated myself here because there was no reason that I was like, there's no reason I should be this way. There is no reason I should be this weight. And I am just apparently worthless and all these things. Like, this is what I was like. And I look at that now and I don't even recognize that person. Now, does that mean that I don't still have weight to lose? No, I still have extra weight to lose. I know I have extra weight to lose, and I'm working on that. And it's not a race. It's not how fast can you possibly lose. It's not, I need to go to the gym for 10 hours because if I can't lose another 80 pounds in the next 4 days, somehow I'm a failure. That's not the mindset that gets you to be successful at this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Your mind is the most important element of you losing weight. If you don't think like a healthy person, your body will never be that of a healthy person. Mm-hmm. Your mind is the most important element of your journey to become the healthy person you want to be. Why did I eat and binge and all of these things? Because my brain was addicted and because my mind was in a place of being emotionally attached to treating myself with food as a drug. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why did I never succeed at any of the other things that I've tried for the last, 30 years of my life, to the extent, at least, that I would say I succeed now? Because my mind was dealing with depression and this apathy and this irritability and the anxiety, and I was lazy, not because I wanted to be lazy. I was lazy by virtue of the fact that I was so unhealthy and my mind was in such a bad place. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. I think a lot of times we think, oh, I'm just lazy. Well, laziness is a symptom. Mm-hmm. Laziness is oftentimes not a choice. Now, it can be a choice, but a lot of times laziness is not a choice. It's a symptom of an unhealthy mind, which usually comes from a very unhealthy body. Mm-hmm. So if you get your mind in the right place, your body will start following suit when you make good choices. And guess what? When your body and your mind get right, so does everything else in your life, mm-hmm. little by little. Mm-hmm. Right? I can't possibly imagine the Chris from 4 or 5 years ago ever having a clue how to run a YouTube channel. No. Or a brand, or be the musician that I am, or be a recipe creator, or any of these things. Mm-mm. I couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. I couldn't plan ahead. I couldn't help other people. I could barely keep myself alive. but my mindset completely changed. And one of the things that I did to do this is I would go and watch Dr. Barry videos. I would put them on in the background as I was patrolling around at work and listen to them like a podcast, right? I would just do whatever I could to surround myself with encouragement, with the information I needed, with everything. And I set my mind on, I am going to change my life one piece at a time. I'm not going to let this ruin me. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to focus on what I need to do every day to be a little better than the day before. And I'm going to surround myself with the inspiration and the encouragement that keeps me revitalizing my resolve to do that. That's what I was doing. And I was setting my mind on the success that I wanted and on the change that I knew I needed. So getting your mind in the right place, that is the only way that you can possibly succeed long term. You cannot will yourself into being skinny. You cannot self-discipline yourself into being skinny or into healing any of these other issues that you have until you set your mind on the success, at the light at the end of that tunnel, and you keep pursuing it. And you say with positivity, I can do this. I can go for this. I can make this happen. And it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a daily journey. It is going to be a long, little by little process that you are going to have to work at every single day. But you can take joy in the fact that you are working towards something better. And instead of beating yourself up for what you haven't yet achieved, succeed and celebrate the little successes along the way and keep yourself so focused on the positivity and on the success you're seeing, and focus on the little celebrations of little milestones as you go. And don't get in your own head and start thinking negatively about beating yourself up for what you're not doing. And this isn't perfect. And that's not fast. That's completely irrelevant. That's all ridiculous. That's completely pointless for your mind to go to that place, because all that does is ruin your mindset and drive you right back towards the bad choices you were making when you didn't feel like you were worth making the good ones. So ask me how I know all of this. Ask me how I know what it's like to struggle with this.
Yeah.
So it's the reason that I do what I do, because I'm not the only one in the world I know who has had these issues. And I still have to make sure that I don't let my mind go there, right? I still go through days where it's like, I've gotten a bunch of crappy comments on YouTube and I'm having a hard time ignoring it, and Ash will be like, you seem really down. And I'm like, I'm just frustrated. It's like, it doesn't matter how much I succeed. I'm still just, getting beaten up and having people tell me I'm fat and I'm worthless and I'm, trash and my recipes are stupid and none of this is the, good and whatever. And it's like, I have to pull myself up out of those funks, and I have to remember to not let my mind become focused on the negativity, because there's plenty of that in the world. You can find as much of that as you want, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the next thing I need to work on, being better tomorrow than I was today, and always remaining positive and remaining focused on the fact that, yes, I can do it. And yes, I can succeed. And not only can I, but I will.
You are.
I are.
Yeah,
I are succeeding. Yes, but I will. And I am doing that, right? And that is what I'm continuing to focus on. And that's what I want to inspire you guys to focus on. So do you have some stuff that you would like to share about mindset? I know you had some stuff you've written down. Different things.
I have to say, I feel like I'm so happy that we are talking about this today, because I actually think that this is something, clearly we know that, what you put in your body and all of that is so important, but I think, the mind is so important. And I don't know if it's actually talked about enough. And I think a lot of people can relate, where it's like you're doing really well, you've been following low carb for a couple weeks and you're like, okay, I got this. And then, what happens? What takes you off the rails?
Yeah.
Things enter your brain where you're like, well, I could just have one bite, or, I kind of deserve this. And
I've had a rough day. I'm just going to go ahead and let myself have this because I've already failed at something else anyway.
So you can be doing the right thing and putting the right foods in your body and, working out, whatever it is. But it's like, it's your mind. That is the number one thing that takes you off of the path that you're supposed to be on. So I think one of the benefits that we hear so many people talk about and that we've experienced is we talk about, getting rid of brain fog and just the mental clarity that comes with cleaning up your diet. And the longer you do it, I swear, the better that it gets.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just important that as you're cleaning up your diet, at the same time, let's work on actually exercising our brains and our minds, because that's really the most important thing, I think.
Absolutely.
So it's really, in this case, mind over body. But Chris asked me to put together a little short little list of different tips and tricks that whether you're just starting out on your health journey or maybe you've been doing this for years and years, these are just a couple tips and tricks we thought we would share that you guys can feel free to write down if you want to go back, watch the replay, whatever, but just little things that you can actually start implementing in your life to help not only strengthen your body, but your mind, which is very important. So number one is revisit your why daily. So write down, why did you start eating this way? What is your motivation? What keeps you going? For Chris, you've talked about your why and the importance of having one many a time.
Yeah.
If you don't have a why on why you're eating this way and why you're trying to change your life, you should get one, because it's a really good motivation. And it helps with all kinds of things.
I wake up next to this hot piece of lovely lady every single day, and I'm like, I got to figure out how to try to match that energy. So I am constantly working, trying to figure out how to go from when you're 4 who marries a 10, you recognize the need for, you better be able to do something to keep them satisfied, keep them around. So I cook, and I'm trying to work on all of this.
Okay. Okay, sure. But you're very sweet. But no,
seriously,
but in all seriousness,
living a life where I am a good husband, where I can maybe someday be a father if we decide to have kids, and be a good dad, that I can go out and play with my kids and be around for my family and provide for my family, and that kind of stuff. That's my why. I wake up next to her every day. What can I do to be a better guy, a better man, who can provide for her and be there for her today? Yeah. And that's a real good reason to put down the cupcake. Well, and I think that's huge because, we've talked about this before on the channel, but when I met Chris, I actually was not at first really into the idea of us getting married and making this like a official thing, because I didn't think he was going to live to be 35. Yeah. You got very different person that you see here today than he was when I met him almost 7 years ago. We had a tough conversation that one day when you were like, if you can't take care of yourself, why would I ever trust you to take care of me? And I didn't really want to hear it. And I knew I needed to hear it, but it was not fun to hear. And I really had to go away and let my mind figure out how to settle that before I was able to make some changes in my life. Yeah. And I clearly was not a perfect angel in any way, shape, or form, but having a why, whether that's to be around longer for your kids, your grandkids, whether you realize it's affecting your relationship with your spouse or whatever, it's like, be the best version that you can be. So important. So take your why. If you don't have one, stop and think about it. Put it in front of you. Write it down on a mirror. Put it in front of your eyes, somewhere you're going to see it every single day. So you wake up and you go, this is why I'm not going to have a cupcake today. This is why I'm going to keep improving. This is why if I fall off the wagon, I'm going to get right back on. So have a why. The other one is control your environment. Now, I can already hear the people saying, you don't know, I can't. I understand. I really, really, really do. But you are ultimately in control of the decisions that you make. And so going through your environment could be something as simple as if you have junk food in the house and it's tempting you, throw it away. Yep. Don't worry about the cost of it or whatever. It's not food, it's poison. So throw it away. If you say, well, hey, I live in a house of people that don't eat the same way that I do. Maybe you have family that's standard American diet. Then that's okay. Yeah. Go rearrange your pantry to where it's well, then that food is maybe up on a higher shelf, or it's at least out of reach. Yep. Because when you keep that food right there in front of you, it's a lot easier to get in. It's a lot easier to walk by, open the pantry, and take a bite. It just is. So try to take control of your environment to the best of your ability. You don't have to be perfect at it. Again, just do the best you can. This is one that I think is really hard, but very important. Pause before acting. Yeah. When you're tempted to basically veer off track, when you're having that moment of, I think I'm going to go eat this, or I think I'm going to go do that, or whatever, take a deep breath, drink some water, preferably with electrolytes, and ask yourself,
do I really want to do this?
Mhm.
Is this really a choice? Is this something that I'm deciding to do? And is this choice something that I'm okay with? Is it going to help me reach my goals, or is it going to derail me? What are the consequences if I make this choice?
Yeah.
And maybe it's okay to, make that choice, and maybe you decide to, cool. But stop before you just give into an in the moment emotion, and really stop to think about the long-term effects of the choice you are about to make.
Yep. If you're looking for electrolytes to add to your water, my Keto Chow link is in the description box. Go get yourself some salty electrolytes, because we have them every single day. And since we're talking about mindset, your brain does not work properly without its electrolytes.
True. Very true.
Just saying, it makes a huge difference for us keeping our minds right.
Yeah, no, very, very true. Number 4 tips and tricks is to practice mental reframing. I love this. I think there's a lot of bad words. And what we mean by this is, like, I hear the word cheat meal, or I was bad and I had insert whatever it is here. Get rid of that mindset. It's, basically talk to yourself where it's like, okay, if you choose to go and have something that you usually shouldn't have, don't put the negative term on it of, it's a cheat meal, or it's, I was bad and I had this. If you're currently on a weight stall has a bad indentation to it, right? We've talked about this before on the channel, where it's like, think about when you're mentally talking about stuff, not, I can't have this, I'm bad, this is negative. Have it be, you know what, I'm going to choose not to have this today because of blah, blah, blah. Or, instead of having a cheat meal, it's a treat meal. Or instead of a weight stall, you're on a healing phase. Like, just start putting positive words in place of those negative things that are kind of meant to make you feel bad, even if it's subconscious and you don't really recognize it. Because I don't think you eating maybe something like some dairy on your carnivore diet makes you a bad person. Just my belief. You're not bad. You just had a little something that was a little treat. Okay.
I would also say, if there are negative things in your mind, this is something I tell my guitar students this all the time, but this is something that I think applies to a lot of areas. If you have negative things ringing in your mind, you did this, you failed at that, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, whatever that is, I want you to stop and I want you to think, whose voice is that in your head?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee for most of you, in most of those situations, that's probably not your voice you're hearing. You might be saying it in your own voice, but when you really stop and think about it, who in your head does that sound like? It's probably from someone else in your life. And when you start to recognize it as someone else's voice, you start to recognize that it's criticism that doesn't come from how you need to feel about yourself. It's things you have been conditioned to say in someone else's voice. And those people don't deserve that space in your head. Yes. Even if they're people that love you, when they're saying things like that, that does not deserve space in your head.
It's very true. Yeah. And sometimes the people closest to us can say things that are, unfortunately the kind of the cause of that, but it is very important for sure. This is one, take it meal by meal. I think, this is something important to kind of take bigger goals and make it smaller. So focus on winning the next meal or snack rather than thinking too far ahead. Now, for people just starting out, I think this is probably the best thing, because it's like, planning ahead is cool if you mentally can handle that. But a lot of people starting out are very overwhelmed by all the different things they're supposed to be doing and learning all of this information. It's a lot. So just take it meal by meal, and I think that's a great little tip. Number 7 is to use positive self-talk. So replace negative thoughts like, I'll never stick to this, with affirmations like, I'm strong and capable of reaching my goals. So positive self-talk is huge. It's like, you are succeeding. You are doing great. And just kind of like, again, it's like, keep it positive. Talk positively about yourself. Like, you are an amazing human being. Like, I don't need to know you personally to know you have worth and you have value. And so don't talk down about yourself.
Right.
And truthfully, Chris and I both experienced this where, again, it's like, well, whose voice is telling you that you're not good, or that you're not going to stick to this, or you're not going to succeed at that? Whose voice are you listening to? But I think, again, it's like, this is the power of the mind, because if you don't believe in yourself, well, how can anyone else?
Right.
And so you really need to guard your mind and your thoughts. And when you start thinking about, man, I'm just not good at this, or man, I should be doing this and I'm not, you need to knock that crap off, and you need to pull yourself together and go, okay, yes, I can do this. Yes, I
Yeah.
can. And this also is the power of community and having a support group
Yep.
that can coach, guide, and give you advice, but then also, help get your mind back where it needs to be, thinking positively about yourself. About you, feel free to chime in if you have anything to say.
You're doing great.
Thanks. Number 8 on the tips and tricks, and I think this is a really important one. Reward yourself with non-food. Notice that non-food part?
Yes.
I think most people, if we're all just being honest, and I know this for myself. So growing up, I was really conditioned with the food reward. Yeah. If you get good grades, you get an ice cream. If you do this thing, then I'll take you to McDonald's. I think we are so conditioned. Oh, I had a rough day at work. I'll go out tonight and have a nice dinner and I'll have a couple of drinks. We are so conditioned to reward ourselves in society with food.
Yeah.
And food is fuel. And I think this is unfortunately just kind of one of the things that has become so popular in culture that we need to fight against. But if you're doing really well, and let's say you're sticking to keto, you're sticking to carnivore, you're doing well, celebrate your victories, but don't reward yourself with food, because food is not a reward. It's fuel. So instead, maybe, you'll know yourself better, but you can celebrate milestones. So if you lose a pound or 2, 3 pounds, however many, go pick a fun activity, go buy yourself a new outfit, maybe go, treat yourself to an afternoon at the park, or go fishing, or whatever you like to do, but find things that you enjoy doing, or little things you can maybe buy for yourself, treat yourself, where it's like, yes, I lost 3 pounds this week, so therefore I'm going to go celebrate. Like, that's great. So look for those non-food rewards.
Yeah.
Number 9, and I think this is actually really cool. And Chris, actually, you did a great job of doing this earlier when you were showing your before and after pictures, which is track your progress.
Yeah.
I think so many people, especially when you still have maybe some weight to lose, you don't really want to go in front of a camera, and you're like, oh, I really don't want to do that. And I get it. Like, it's scary, and we know we don't look our best and we don't feel our best. But if you could literally just start taking pictures, go start a YouTube channel and start just weekly showing up and showing people your progress. That is actually very motivating, because by you taking photos of your journey and like doing all this, or maybe you journal, maybe you write down in your journal, like, okay, day 3 of carnivore, here's what I'm feeling. Then you start writing every day just a little bit of how you're doing and feeling. Well, imagine when you get to day 365, day 960, like, how much cool things are you going to be able to look back on and just see, because you wrote down how you felt every day, how you went from feeling anxious and depressed and this to today I ran 3 miles, today I did this, today, like, that's crazy. Like, to actually write down how you feel in a journal and then be able to go back and look at it. So, and that's one thing, for example, like you were showing the photos of you and I, especially yourself, when it's like we were a lot heavier before we started keto and carnivore. And now it's like, well, look at you today. And it's like, even if we still have extra weight to lose, even if we're not at our ideal body weight, that's right, the drum. Even if we're not at our ideal body weight, though, it's like, how motivating. Like, look at, even if you have extra to lose, like, look at you. That is a huge transformation. And you, not only do you not look like the same person, you do not act like the same person. And so that's amazing. So then when you feel down and you're having a bad day, go look at those pictures, go read your journal and go, I'm doing good. Doing good. And number 10, last one, probably the best one I think on the whole list, turn setbacks into lessons. If you slip up, do not dwell on it. Reflect on why it happened, then reset and move forward stronger. We've talked about this before. And again, I just don't think it gets talked about enough. If something happens to where maybe you have a, you go off the rails a little bit, you do this or do that, it happens. I just want to let you know that there's, I think we have probably a couple hundred people watching here this morning. I don't know how many people are going to watch the replay. I guarantee we all have been there and we all understand. And we literally were talking about at the beginning about how it's like your mind is so important, and you can be doing all the right things, putting the right food in your body. And what is really the thing that takes you off the rails? It's usually a thought that enters your mind and it takes you off of here. So when that does happen, that's okay. But the important thing is learn from it, right? Don't sit and dwell on it. Don't beat yourself up. I don't want to sound cruel. You beating yourself up doesn't help anybody, especially yourself. It's just literally not, it's not helpful. So if you slip up, just get right back on it. And don't even maybe do the next day, do the next meal.
Yeah.
Just go right back to doing what you're supposed to, because, but stop and think about it. It's like, okay, well, that happened. I can't change it. So I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to beat myself up. What can I learn from it though?
Yeah.
What made me decide, what was my moment of weakness where my mind kind of broke and I decided just to give into this temptation? When you have that information and when you think about it that way, you go, okay, so the next time I'm faced with this situation, I need to do X, Y, and Z. So that way I don't give into that. And then I go off the rails. These are just 10 little tips, tricks, strategies that can help basically you regain your focus and kind of help strengthen your mind. So hopefully just not go off the wagon, or just to stay focused, to stay motivated. So
absolutely. Those
are the top 10.
Yep. Dr. Barry says in a lot of like live streams and things that I've watched that he does, he makes a statement of like, okay, so what do you do if you are doing really well on a proper human diet and you accidentally ate an entire sleeve of Oreos, an entire family-sized pack of Oreos, an entire giant bag of Doritos, whatever the thing is that's your trigger, that's your thing, your vice, your thing of choice. You accidentally do that. What do you do? You pretend it never happened, and the very next meal you go back to what you know you need to do.
Yep.
That's it. It's that simple. And if you don't dwell on that and you go, okay, so how did that happen? Why did that happen? How do we avoid that happening in the future? And you pretend like it never happened, and you just go right back to doing what you need to do, and then you avoid those circumstances in the future. That's how you change. That's how you make progress. That's how you improve and how you become better. Yeah.
I don't remember when it was, but I came up with the analogy of a bug hitting the windshield. And basically the idea behind this is, so a cheat meal, or whatever we want to call it, is basically a bug. And you're in your car and you're driving along and that bug hits your windshield. Are you going to go wreck your car because a bug hit your windshield?
Right.
No. You're going to keep driving. You're just going to keep plowing on and don't let it derail you.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Have we preached our sermon?
I think we've preached our sermon.
Great.
Let's see what everyone's saying in the chat here, and
let's do it.
Just kind of see what's going on. Margaret Chase says healing inflammation, healing microbiome, healing. Yes, absolutely. And Kitchen Witch wants to know, anyone know who came up with chaffles? The ones with eggs, cottage cheese, pork panko, and butter, I think. I don't actually know who was kind of the first person credited with chaffles. I'm not sure who that is, so. Sherry says, carnivore transformation. Glad you found CCN. Chris makes amazing recipes that even me, who's primarily vegetarian, I'm now eating more meat.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Caleb says, wow, you're looking so good, Chris. Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Auntie says people can be so rude.
They sure can.
They can. That's all right. We just I signed up for it. I get it. It's part of what goes on with this. So
part of it.
Cheryl says, "Wow, what a transformation." Yes, it really is. And if you actually know me in real life, not just on YouTube, but if you know me in real life, specifically if you knew me before keto and carnivore, you would be like, Chris is a completely different guy now in a really good way. So
when people talk about like the recipe Chris, creates in his YouTube channel, and, for a long time too, he was like working a day job and doing music with me and teaching guitar lessons. And then he's doing this and that. And it's like, if you would have like known this man when I first met him, he couldn't even get out of bed. He couldn't get off the couch.
Yeah.
And so when people, see all the recipes and all these cool things you do, I'm like, it's really a great testament to how keto and carnivore, and then also just really changing your mindset, and the power of your mind can really change the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
Jeffrey Cox is here, says, hello, listening, not in real time, between patients today.
Awesome.
Well, Jeff, really glad you're here.
Yes.
Let's see. Auntie says, envy and sadness breeds hatred.
It does, yeah.
Absolutely. Purple Oven Nana has a great point. She says, you have also changed for the better, Ash.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
In so many different ways.
Absolutely. Caleb says, my heaviest was 240 and I was 5'4", and now I'm 5'6" and 287. I don't have depression or paranoia anymore. That's amazing,
That's awesome,
man.
So cool.
That is fantastic. Just keep at it. Keep at it. Cranky Carnivore Cutler says, just remember, those who are not on a proper human diet are not in their right mind.
Very true.
That is correct.
And we were that way when we were on a standard American diet. So, yeah we have grace for people.
And Caleb meant 187.
Oh, 187.
So, yeah.
Well, good for you, man.
Yep, that's
good
amazing.
Deal.
That's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Auntie says, Chris, the hatless hair looks great. Thank you. I just got a haircut. So, I got to show it off while it's not too long to be a pain in the butt, right?
Right.
Although this gray patch keeps getting bigger in the front here.
I noticed that.
I don't know about that. Between the gray here and the gray right here.
I tell people that I married a much older man.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this and this are all because of the dog.
You think so? That sweet baby back there.
I think so. You guys see her?
You guys see that baby?
See her back there, sound asleep. There she is.
She's going to say hi. She's like, guys, I'm sleeping.
She's like, leave me alone. I'm sleeping.
Yeah, she's like, I'm napping. Oh, now she's going to.
That's right. Now she's got to come. Now she's got to come over and get involved. We
have disturbed the beast.
We disturbed the beast.
Hold on. Come here.
Carnivore Transformation says, I am fortunate enough to have lost 78 pounds in my first 100 days on carnivore. That is secondary to the health benefits that have happened in such a short time. Carnivore is life changing. That's amazing. Rock on that. And also see if I can get the phone to listen to me today. Rock on for all of that. That is amazing.
Incredible.
But hey, there it goes. So rock on Carnivore Transformation. That's amazing. Congrats. And yes, you're right. There's so many health benefits that go so far beyond just the weight loss. So there she is, making her cameo.
Making her appearance.
Yeah, making her.
Does anyone else have a 70-pound dog that likes to sit in their lap?
big knuckleheaded fluff ball. You're going to see Uncle Dustin today, and you're going to have all kinds of fun, I'm sure. She has a busy day in front of her.
Busy day.
So Cheryl says, so you're a musician, hence Nashville. Yes, Cheryl. We are both professional musicians. Ash is a recording artist and songwriter, and I'm also a songwriter, although I don't lean into the artist thing as much. I play lead guitar and do the band leader function and the manager function for Ash, and the two of us tour and play. And if you'd like to hear some of what we do, go to ashtaylor.com, spelled just like it sounds, ASHTAYLOR, ashtaylor.com. She has a brand new music video.
I do.
That just dropped. If you guys did not know, she has a brand new music video for her song Stuck on Indiana, about yours truly over here.
Right about this guy.
She has that out now, and you guys can go listen to all of her music and see that video. Yeah. She also has a fan club over there if you'd like to get some behind the scenes extra stuff and support her music and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff. So ashtaylor.com, all of her links and her tour schedule and all that is there. So yes, you guys definitely go check that out.
Exciting stuff.
Rebecca says, I just don't understand people. How sad is someone to bash someone who has made progress? Like, seriously. I know it's not, it's why we try to be as positive of a representation as we can be and not beat people up for not doing enough, because there's enough people out there who are going to do that already.
Yeah. And not to go on a rant, but we're just clearly all about being open and honest. Yeah. We have such a great community here that is so positive and seriously so wonderful and encouraging. And we just love that immensely. And we don't really talk about a lot of the stuff that people actually call us online, or like a lot of we delete most of those and we really move on, because again, it kind of like puts your mind in a really weird place.
Yes.
And eventually we're going to get to a point where we're just not going to, and we're going to hire someone to go through before we go answer comments that matter, where we can actually help people and answer questions and encourage things. First, we're going to have someone go in that's going to go through and delete all that stuff. Yeah. But we don't even talk about half the stuff that we get called online. And it's, even if it's a small group of people, they're loud. And I don't think you would probably really, with the size of the channel and how it's gotten, I don't think people really understand the amount of names that we get called in a day. And it's not that we're complaining or we want sympathy or want to hear how great we are. It's just, this is why sometimes if it's like we just put people in their place and we just don't care, this is why. Because it's like, we just don't tolerate bullies. We don't tolerate any of this stuff. And people, especially, they don't know who we are or stories. And if you have the balls to come call me a liar, then I got some fighting words for you. It's like, no, like, we're not doing
and the
that.
thing is, if people do this to us, with all of the support, the public support that we have, I know what they're doing to people in their own lives behind the scenes who don't have that support. So we are the support for all of you. So if someone in your life does this, you have a place to come.
Yeah, because we understand and we totally relate. And we don't want to give credit or power to those people, but this is just part of the job sometimes. And it's like, okay, but we also have to protect our own mental health.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Caleb says, you two look so much happier and healthier.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Definitely.
Hands down.
Rick says, quite a transformation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Auntie says, you both look different, amazing people now, happy and blessed.
Aww,
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Auntie. Rick says, hard to see he's the same person.
It is. Probably because you lost the whole person. I mean, you've lost 130 plus pounds.
Yep.
That's
I've lost about 130 pounds and a whole bunch of sadness and anger and depression and just bad stuff that was just ruling my life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Viva Cristo Ray, I love that name, says it's a process. It is a process.
Is.
And they say you both look fantastic. Well,
thank
you
friends.
very, very much. Rick makes a good point. I think people do not take me seriously because I have no before and after pics to show.
Yeah. But
absolutely.
You know what though, Rick? Something that I think is actually really cool is so many of us kind of find this later on in life, like we were talking about, which is why it's cool that Caleb is, 16 and doing this. And the fact that you have been a carnivore for so long, I think that's actually really inspiring to a lot of people. The fact that you don't have before and after pics because you never went through that. It's like, yes, I've just always eaten this way and ta-da. I think that's actually really motivating to a lot of people, Rick. So I think that's really awesome.
I love it. I think it's great. Andy says, this is amazing to see you guys like this. It's crazy how being well nourished makes such a difference and you just didn't know what you didn't know until you tried doing something different.
True.
And that's the point. And that's why we don't beat people up, because people don't know what they don't know. And if they're looking for answers and then we beat them up for not having answers, how are they supposed to find the answers? It's ludicrous the way you see people online acting sometimes. This is why I'm part of basically no Facebook group. There's one Facebook group I'm a part of.
Just one.
It's called Dirty Carnivore Recipes. And I go in there and I don't even interact that much because it can even get a little bit rough. But I go in there every now and then and post that I have a new recipe out. And that's about the extent of what I do. This is why I'm not part of Facebook groups that do all of this kind of stuff. I'm a part of Southern Keto's private Facebook group.
Yeah.
I'm a part of Cindy Demanch's Facebook group, but I don't go like, the Carnivore for Beginners and like all those other Facebook groups. I do not go in there and be in any way interactive. I have dog hair in my mouth now. I have no involvement in any of that kind of stuff because those are just trash bins to collect some of the most hateful, dogmatic people on the internet that go in there and they have nothing better to do than troll social media to make themselves feel like they're superior to other people. And they will crucify people for asking the most simple question because they're just trying to figure out how this works. We've talked to people. Yeah,
I was going to say there was a lady that actually was considering doing keto and then maybe carnivore. And she had a lot of questions and she was just really trying to figure all this out. And so she said she ended up getting my number from somebody and we started to talk and I was trying to like help and coach her through how to get started and, all this stuff. And she straight up told me, she said, I honestly was kind of nervous to talk to you because she goes, I went into some Facebook groups and I was trying to ask a couple of these questions. And she goes, people literally started like bashing me because I did not know the answer. And she's like, am I just supposed to walk into all this knowing this? And it's like, no, you're not. And then, lots of differing opinions and different things. And it's like, well, if you don't do it the way I think you should, you're wrong. So, I think that's out there and you have to realize a lot of people are lost and they're looking for the answer. And then they think, oh, well, maybe this is it. So again, this is why community is important and creating a safe space for everybody, because it's like, what if you could save someone's life? You could literally change someone's life. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's why we do what we do. Auntie says it's all a mind trick.
I'm glad I figured it out.
That's right.
Glad you got it.
I sent one of those pictures to Dustin and Victor, and I have a group chat as we talk about Keto Crusade stuff, and we just kind of talk, as creators and inspire each other and share info, whatever. And I sent before this today, I sent the picture of the before and after of me in the white T-shirt at the zoo, and then the guitar picture that I had done.
Yeah.
And I sent that to them, and I said, "Here's all of the progress I'm not making." And Victor wrote back, and he goes, "It's all AI." And I was like, "That's right. I'm glad you figured it out. It's all AI."
We got that done.
Yeah. Barbara is here. She says, you two look fabulous. Well, thank you, Barbara.
Barbara. You're so sweet.
I'm not sure if I look fabulous. Some people might think I still look fatulous, but that's all right. we're working on it. Tanya says, you guys are simply amazing. Your transformation is amazing. Well, Tanya, thank you so much. I don't know if we're amazing. We're just trying to be good inspirations to encourage as many people as we can. And we're living our real life in front of you all. Like, I'm showing you when I'm still, overweight, and I'm showing you the things I'm doing, and I'm struggling and succeeding and back and forth and up and down and everything we do.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Real people.
It's all right. Yeah. Carnivore Transformation says, you both have such positivity as it is inspiring. Thank you for all the exploratory recipes you have created and Ash has rated. Well, you're very welcome. And thank you for supporting us in doing it.
Yes.
And he says, okay, had no idea Chris was going to mention mind change. Kathy says, hi, Melody.
She's back to sleeping behind me on the floor now.
Caleb says, 80 pounds in 4 days. Preposterous.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, obviously, 80 pounds in 4 days is ridiculous. But, but there are people that are like, you should have lost all your weight in 3 months. And if you're not doing that, then obviously you're a fake carnivore. I've literally heard that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Do you even know biologically how the human body works? Because that's not even, that's like science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going to lose all of my weight in 3 months. And after that, I'm going to transport myself around the world in 5 seconds because that little Star Trek transporter thing, that's real too.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, come on. Steven says they don't make mirrors or enough smoke to make these transformations a lie or a trick. Great work, both of you. You are both an inspiration for the entire universe.
Aww,
Steven, you are so
Steven.
kind. We appreciate that. So yeah. Viva Cristo Ray says, yes, everything starts with your mind.
Very
Absolutely.
True. Very true.
Caden is here, says, it is incredible to me that there are people out there that will take the time to sit down and type out such criticisms.
Every day.
I got better things to do with my life than go judge what somebody else is doing as being not fast enough or not good enough. And even if I don't like what someone is doing, I definitely don't have the time to sit there and tell them about it in the comment section and complain.
Right.
Like, if I don't like their video, I'm just going to move to the next video because I've got other stuff to do.
Right.
So, keeping your mind focused on what you got to do for your own self.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry says, you both look amazing, and I'm so glad I found you. I got to bounce to my other pod that I watch at 10. I'll come back and watch what I missed later. Well, thank you so much for being here, Sherry.
Bye, Sherry.
Sold on Him. I love that name. What a positive impact and inspiration you two beautiful people have on the community. Well, thank you so much. We are just doing our best to try to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
Viva Cristo Ray says, yes, that is the recipe for success. So Cheryl has a good question. Are you guys in favor of Hero brand bread products? So Cheryl, I haven't had any of them because I make all my own stuff. So I have like carnivore bread and carnivore buns and all these things I make at home. I do that because, number one, I don't want any of the fibers and the wheat-based byproducts and things that they use to make those keto bread products like that, because they don't make me feel good. I know some people use the Hero bread products and they love them. And other people use them and they just hate them and they don't feel good. So it really is a thing of, you have to figure out, does it work for you? And does it mess with your blood sugar, with your ketones, with all these things? It's an N=1 experiment, and it takes time. You try this stuff, and some people start out with products like that.
Yeah.
And then the longer they go, they keep removing more and more and more of them, and they get cleaner and cleaner. And it's really an individual experience of you figuring out if you like them. I think they're very expensive, and I understand why they're very expensive, but I think they're very expensive for what you get. And I can make what I think is a really superior product at home for a lot cheaper. And it doesn't make me feel bad to eat it because mine is made with completely animal-based product. And so there's no weird starches. There's no gluten-y things. Because that's the thing, even the keto products that are in packages, a lot of times they still have fibers and starches and different things in them that, whether they're really keto or not, is really questionable. And they're still a pre-made, processed kind of product. And they just don't make me feel very good. So if you use it as a tool and it helps you, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I tend to encourage people, like, try to get away from as much of that as you can and make it at home if you can. But Again, it's up to you. Does eating the hero bread mean that you don't go back to eating a standard American diet and eating junk, and therefore you're achieving more and more health goals as a result? In that case, then yes, you should absolutely use it. And if you don't need it and you can get it out and you can make your own stuff at home, then that's even better and that's ideal. But you have to figure out what helps you be successful and what matters the most to you. And I'm not going to judge you for eating hero bread if that makes a difference for you.
Absolutely.
Great question. Anne says, hey, what's the event in May that was mentioned? Can anyone tell me what that is, please? Yeah, it's called Meat Stock. And I believe all the cabin tickets have been sold for a long time, and there's no space in the cabins for the week-long retreat. But the convention on the weekend, which is a couple of days, I think there's still a handful of tickets left because I think they opened it up for a few more people. And this is the last batch of tickets they have. So there might be a few tickets left. So Meat Stock 2025 is what it is.
And if you go to Chris's website, chriscookingnashville.com, right there on the homepage, there's actually the flyer so you can see everyone that will be speaking at it. And there's a button there where if you hit it, it will actually take you to where you can buy tickets if you're interested in coming. It
is a who's who of the keto and carnivore online creator world. And I am honored to have my picture and my name listed amongst so many great speakers.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool. And I'm going to be doing something real special for everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to being there and presenting.
Yeah.
Yes. Rebecca is correct. Is Meat Stock in Gatlinburg. PJ says, you both are wonderful. Love and respect you both so much. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Much respect. Well, thank you, PJ, for supporting us.
Very sweet.
Rebecca says, sounds like people are just jealous. Yeah. I guess that's what it is. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of broken people that need a lot of help. So, and sometimes that comes out as anger and hatred rather than looking broken.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Lewis says, the best day of my life was when I stopped trying to be skinny and stopped stepping on the scale. I now celebrate all the other bad things, too many to list, that I no longer suffer with. And that is an amazing mindset.
Yes. Love that.
Rick is very kind, says, more of us look to you, Chris, for inspiration than there are trolls out there. Well, I appreciate that very much. Let's see. Karen says, just keep thinking about those of us that you're truly helping. Amen. And that's what I do every single day. I try to do the very best that I can to focus on the positive in the community because just like you guys, I have to keep my mind focused on the right things.
Yeah.
And some days that's hard.
Derails you. Yeah. If not, absolutely. It totally derails you.
Yep. Let's see. Let's see. Carrie says, Chris, yesterday I was told what I was going for in computers, now how that was going to help. Like I was told I was stupid and it stung. I know I should let it go. Listen, Carrie, I have been called everything you can be called, from a Nazi to a bigot to a racist to fat to worthless to I'm looking forward to your early unalivement. Right? Like all these kinds, like I have had some of the worst things in the world that you could ever imagine a human being saying to someone else from people I have never met. I know nothing about these people. I mean, just craziness. So believe me, I understand. You just have to see those kinds of comments from people for what they are. That is small, broken people that have nothing better to do in their lives but to criticize someone else because it's the only way they can feel like maybe they're not as big of a failure as they're choosing to be. And that's the thing. People aren't failures because they're a failure. They're a failure if they choose to be a failure. They're not worthless because they're bad people. They're worthless and bad by choice when they do that kind of stuff. And when you see that for what it is, you recognize they're broken people. And it's not that they, by virtue of who they are worthless. They are choosing to behave in a way that is worthless. And if they don't stop living their life that way, they're just ruining themselves. And they can say all those hateful things and do all this kind of stuff they want, but it has no effect on us in our lives. It really doesn't. The only way they can ruin your day is if you let them. True. And that's hard to remember. I'm I'm not preaching at you. I'm reminding myself of this as much as I'm telling you this. So I understand it, but believe me, you're not alone. If you've been called something, I've probably been called something worse as a creator on YouTube. So it's all good. We just keep doing it and we just keep making progress. Teresa says, I loved the videos you made on patrol.
Aww.
Yeah, thank you. Those were back in the day.
I was gonna say, that tells me Teresa has been watching this channel for a long time,
yep.
and I love that.
That's right. Thank you for being here, Teresa.
Yeah.
Viva Cristo Ray says consistency is key.
Yes, absolutely.
Consistency, not perfection. Consistency.
Yep.
Andy says, oh, okay, thank you so much. I'm totally jelly of those who are going. I want to so badly, but I'm in Utah, so I've got some additional considerations I'd have to sort out.
That makes sense.
That would be a big trip. A big trip. But hey, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
You never know.
Hopefully there will be one in 2026. Maybe you come out and hang out with us in the Smoky Mountains.
Right.
My mom says, you are succeeding on your health journey, not so much at grammar. Sorry, the English teacher in me couldn't resist. Yes. For those of you who don't know, my mom is an English teacher by trade. She works in the library now, and she had quit being a teacher. She homeschooled me when I was a kid. But she's an English teacher. And if there's anyone who has a big vocabulary and understands grammar upside down and inside out, it would be my mom. One of the most brilliant people I've ever met. So, yes, she is going to give me a hard time anytime I make a joke about grammar, because she is smarter about grammar than I will ever be. Jeff says, I completely agree. I allowed food to become an idol. As a Christian, I need to look at my motivation. For me, the biggest change in my state of mind was seeing it as fuel. Absolutely. And I'm right there with you. Food was an idol for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So. Kitchen Witch says, me too, just happened to be going there to visit my sister the weekend before, but too much moolah right now to swing it. Yeah. That's the thing, guys. I love the conferences and all that kind of stuff. Like KPL is the only one we've gotten to go to.
Yeah.
But I would go to all of them if I could, but it's just financially so hard to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it's nothing against the people that are charging the money that are running it. I mean, they have to pay for the conference, and that's what it takes to do it, especially the way the economy is now. But it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's just hard. Janelle is here, says, hello, I'm late and need to catch up. Well, we're glad you're here.
Hey.
So that's okay if you come in late. Ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
Now that Janelle's here, the party can get started.
Exactly.
Anne says, maybe accidentally on purpose, just get lost while driving and see if they'll let you stay.
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
Love it. She also says, man, I need to start a YouTube channel too. Maybe I can get some guest spots and share tips on how to crash meat stock events. There you go.
Gotta love it.
Kathy says, I wish I thought cupcakes were disgusting. Cake is my kryptonite. I understand,
Yeah.
Kathy. I understand. We all have our various things,
Mm-hmm.
Viva Cristo Ray says, if you abstain from sugar for about 1 week, cravings will disappear and your taste buds will change. I agree it will get better. I don't know if 1 week is really enough for cravings to go away for most people.
And maybe for some, but not
maybe
for all.
for some, but probably not for all. And if you are truly attached to sugar, a lot of times it's more than just your taste buds changing. It's a whole mind reset. But you are correct. Abstaining from it will definitely help.
The comment underneath that, babe, have a pat of
salted butter when you have a craving. That's a great tip.
Great tips and advice.
Yes.
If you are craving something like that, eating anything high fat, especially salted butter like that, it does wonders.
Yeah.
Great tip right there.
Ireva says, what about coconut water? It has no added sugars, but it has its own sugars. So here's the thing about coconut water. If you decide you want to drink it and it fits within the carb count of what you're trying to have, that is up to you. It is still sugar. It doesn't matter whether it's added sugar or natural sugar. Sugar is sugar is sugar is sugar.
Yeah.
And if you drink coconut water, it's liquid sugar, which means it's an instant hit to your system. Also, a lot of people, I think, believe that coconut water has something magical in it. There's nothing magic in coconut water.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. Don't get me wrong. I love the taste of coconut water. I lived in Key West for a while. And I could get fresh coconuts from Mallory Square and drink the coconut water right out of the green coconuts. It was amazing. And there's some electrolytes in there, so it is very hydrating. It's also full of sugar, and it spikes your insulin. your blood sugar. So, it's a personal choice, but there's nothing magic in coconut water. It's just water out of a coconut that has a few electrolytes and a bunch of sugar. That's it.
Yeah.
So you're better off having something like salty that has a much higher concentration of magnesium, potassium, and the right amount of sodium, and does not have any sugar because it's sweetened with stevia, or you can get the unflavored one and have no flavor at all.
If it also helps, I was actually told for when we're on stage by a vocal coach to years ago, they said drink coconut water because of the sugar in it and the electrolytes and whatever. And what I find would happen is, one, because it had sugar in it, it actually would drive me out, but I would have a crash about halfway through a longer set.
Yep, because you burn through that.
You burn through it.
You spike your blood sugar, then your insulin goes up. You're burning through that glucose in your system because you're on stage sweating and performing. And if you're not a musician, let me tell you, being on stage and performing is a workout. It is exercise. And
definitely.
If you can hop up on stage with us and you can keep up with what we do without being out of breath, I'll be super impressed, because it's way harder than people think it is. But you burn through all that glucose and you have all that insulin that's been spiked.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you go,
so then you start to crash, and now you have nothing to like lift you back up. So I would actually say, because and I love coconut water, it's delicious, but I would really, if you don't, go get some salty, because that's actually what we started doing, and it's insane the amount of difference. So salty electrolytes will make a huge difference for you, and it kind of, they taste really good too.
Absolutely.
So they don't taste like coconut water, but it's just a good taste. You probably would enjoy it and be a lot happier.
Yep. And that way you're avoiding all of the extra sugar and things from the coconuts.
You probably would just feel better, honestly.
Yeah,
so
totally agree.
Just our advice.
If you want to have coconut water, that's totally fine. It's up to you. If you want to have it as a treat, that's up to you. But there's just nothing magic or special about it.
Yeah.
It just tastes good.
Right.
Kathy says, "Wow, Chris, that's awesome." Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty cool to look back and see where I've come from.
Yeah.
Viva Krista Ray says, any taste of sweetness might trigger the cravings. Yeah, for some people, absolutely. And especially when you're first getting off of a standard American diet, it is best to avoid any sweet flavors at all. It just makes it easier. Anne says, silence that inner judge. That is correct. Squash it out. Yes. Kathy says, men are lucky they can cover their double chin with whiskers. Now listen,
Kathy,
I've met a few ladies who can do it too. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying I've met a few who can.
You can, yeah.
Let's see. Bob is here. Bob and Donna Farish. They say coffee, butter, salty, clean slate, egg, and iodine.
Delicious.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Viva Krista Ray says, acknowledge the small wins.
Always.
Let's see. They also say, never give up. Just keep going. Things are changing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Jackie is here, says late to join. Greetings from the Oregon coast. Well, hi, Jackie. We're so glad you're here.
Yes, so good to see you.
Margaret says, turn setbacks into lessons. This is how people learn, said the retired learning professional.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think there's so much crossover though, and saying like a learning professional, or like, so if you're a teacher, a musician, a YouTuber, and then when we're talking about these tips and tricks, it really applies not only to your diet or like your lifestyle. It's really just everything.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff can be taken and transferred over.
Yep. Smooth Will is here, says, hello, wonderful people. I fell off yesterday and had Domino's pizza and a cheeseburger with the bun. I feel mentally horrible. Okay, Smooth Will. So if you haven't gotten, depending on when you came into the video, you may or may not have gotten to this point yet, but you are in exactly that place we were talking about of you fell off. So now you go, okay, so what happened? What were the circumstances? Why? And you do what you need to do to prevent that from happening again. And then you just pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Now, it might take a few days for the carbs to clear out of your system. And so you might feel a little brain foggy and a little bit, for the next few days. And that's okay. There is an end to that. Just go right back to what you need to do and pretend it never happened, because it has absolutely no impact on how valuable you are. It doesn't mean you're bad. Doesn't mean you failed. It just means, okay, there's a set of circumstances I want to avoid in the future.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's as far as you have to think into it. You can totally let that go.
Yeah.
You're doing great. Keep going.
You got this.
Don't give in to that. Don't let yourself beat yourself up. You're doing great. Jackie says, off topic, but how fast did you find the shipping from Roseacre Farm Sport Protein? Or use your discount code and order last week. Notify my order shipped on the 22nd, but no tracking number. Jackie, when they sent it to me, it was like an affiliate thing, and they just kind of asked for an address and they sent it. I don't remember getting a tracking number. I would say give it a few more days, and if you haven't heard anything, I would just reach out to their customer service and be like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah. Like,
I'm sure they can help you. So, but I think it took about a week or so before they told me it was coming, but I think it took about a week before we actually got it.
I know it wasn't like overnight or like 2-day or 3-day or something. So I would say probably about a week. Yeah. Is what I remember.
Yep. Janelle has a great idea. My reward is a trip to the thrift store.
Oh, and see, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it could be buying a new book, the thrift store, or getting an audiobook. That's awesome, Janelle.
And here's a good example. Tanya is one of our community members, and this is what we do for each other in the private group as well. But she says, don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up. Continue doing what you know you need to do. You've got this. Smooth Will. There you go. From Tanya herself.
There you go. Wisdom.
Let's see. Everyone giving Carrie some ideas of ways to reward himself. Rockin' Keto. Amy is here. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Work's been busy today. Well, that's all right.
All good, girl.
We're just glad you're here.
We're just hanging out.
Jackie says, on topic, do you feel it is more or less psychologically healthy to plan for splurge days? I go back and forth. Knowing you can have a treat later can help withstand temptation. So, Jackie, I think this is an individual thing. Some people find that the occasional treat, splurge, whatever you want to call it, makes them feel like they have something that they can enjoy intentionally and they can moderate it and it's not a problem. And if you're one of those people, I don't think there's anything wrong with planning for it. Some people are so addicted that anything triggers them. It would be like an alcoholic planning to have a splurge drink, and that's a road they can't go down. So I think each person needs to know for themselves what makes you more successful. And that's something you learn in time, and that may change in time. I used to have to avoid anything and everything. I mean, even Brussels sprouts. Like, you would not think a Brussels sprout could cause trouble. I could eat a Brussels sprout, making them for her, taste it, and within 30 minutes, I was thinking about Twinkies and I couldn't stop. I mean, it was ridiculous because I was so severe with just my attachment to these things. Now, if I include a few keto items occasionally, and I don't do it very often, but when I do it, if I do a few keto things here and there, I can go right back to being a carnivore and I don't worry about it. And if I do suddenly start to crave something, I recognize it immediately as a craving and I pound beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Yeah.
And I just make sure that I squash that and it goes back away and it's not a problem. But I'm also hyper aware of anything I'm starting to do where I'm thinking about food that I know I don't actually need. I'm hyper aware of that now, and so I'm very, very careful. So
yeah, and I think for myself, if it helps, I think I'm actually a good example of when we first started, like way back in the day, when we first started doing keto, the idea of never having certain foods, because mind you, none of Chris's recipes existed then.
Right.
And so really, when we were doing keto, and I enjoyed it, but I was like, the idea that I would never have things that I grew up loving, like pasta or Mexican food. Tacos was a big one. So what I did when I first started keto, and I don't recommend this for people, but I allowed myself one cheat meal a week. And the idea of knowing that cheat meal was going to happen kind of helped me to push through. And then I would have that and I'd be able to go right back on track. And it was a thing. Yeah. But then
that's not good for ketosis.
Nope, not at all.
But where she was at with trying to sort of resolve herself to eating keto at the beginning, that was helpful for her.
I'm talking when I very first started. And so then though, as I did it longer, I started to realize that I would eat then those cheat meals, if you will, and then I'd feel like crap. Yeah. And then I'd be like, I don't want to do this. Yep. And then what would happen is, as I did it even longer than that, I kind of realized that it's like with a carb addiction, especially, which we're all addicted to sugar and carbs. That meal that I knew that I was going to have that was off plan, then I would just think about it like all the time. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's just not healthy. Like, why am I putting so much thought into a meal I'm going to have in a couple of weeks? Like, that's almost like idolizing, those those foods and all of that.
Yep.
So I think it is individual, but I think it can change over time.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
whatever works for people.
Jackie also says, I'm blessed to not be prone to long off-wagon binge weeks or months from carb addiction.
That's amazing,
So that makes it easier for you to maybe do that and come right back. The key is, can you do it? And the very next meal, go right back to what you need to do. Because the other thing you have to realize, if you eat something off plan, you probably have 3 to 5 days of strict keto or carnivore ahead of you before your body will go back into ketosis. And that's different for every person. But it can take a while for your body to get back into ketosis. So if you have one cheat meal a week, like Ash did at the beginning, you almost never get to a point of ketosis because you're just constantly kicking yourself out. And so you may feel better because you're not putting a bunch of junk in there, but you're not getting all of the benefits of being in ketosis either. So it's, kind of depends on what you can do and how often you want to do it, and whether that's a tool or is that a potentially crippling issue.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anne says, Smooth Will, don't fret. It takes time to remember what you changed and even longer to get emotional reset to take hold. It's so easy to do to just slide into old patterns. Keep going. Absolutely.
Yes.
And Tanya Kitchen Witch says, Tanya, my name is Tanya.
Nice.
Jackie says, I agree. The hatless hair looks good on you, Chris, and I love all Ash's variety of hat choices.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
When I wear a hat, it just means I haven't washed my hair. A little behind the scenes, little clip there for you.
Rebecca says, my 90-pound doodle likes to video bomb my lives.
Hey.
They certainly know how to be right in the middle to get all the attention in the moment, don't they?
Yep, sure does.
Janelle says, love Mel, the little lap dog.
She is, man.
Yes, and Auntie says, aw, Mel.
The puppy dog.
Cranky Carnivore says, because of my current fixed income, anything rewards must come from yard sales or thrift stores. It is what it is. I usually reward myself with my favorite PhD items. That's the other thing.
That's awesome.
If having a food item that's PhD is a reward for you, that's cool because you're already going to eat the PhD thing. Maybe you just splurge on the fancy ribeye steak once.
Yeah.
Like,
and maybe that's a reward.
And maybe that's how you do it.
You don't have to go spend a bunch of money either. It could even just be going on a walk, in nature. I mean, just anything that you enjoy.
Yep.
It could be an event. It could be an experience.
Whatever makes you feel like you are prioritizing yourself a little bit as a way of thanking yourself for doing the right thing.
Yep.
However you do that.
It's different for every person, but yes.
Absolutely. Anne says they all think they're lap dogs.
Yes. Very true.
This one definitely does.
Yeah.
Jackie says, woot woot, going to listen to the new song as soon as this is done. Yeah, there we go. And there's Janelle being a rock star.
Oh, thank you,
There's
Janelle.
the new Ash Taylor video for you guys. And I put a lot of editing time into that. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
He did. I will say, since you're doing your live stream with Mr. Dustin tomorrow, talking about DaVinci Resolve and all, so the music video that just came out for my song Stuck on Indiana, Chris actually filmed and edited that music video all using DaVinci Resolve.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
it's a good example of what you can do with even hack level skills with like what I'm doing. So.
No, I don't know about that.
Rock and Keto Amy says she loves the new Stuck on Indiana video. And Cheryl says, yay, Ash, I love music.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Lynn says, I know it's not for everyone, but I love to journal. It makes me stop and really think about what I'm feeling and why. Then I can see my progress or not later when I go back and reread it all. And you know what? My health logs on my channel that I did for that first 365 days carnivore with no cheats. Yeah. That was my method of journaling. So I agree.
When I was 15 years old, my oldest brother bought me my very first journal. And I sat in this journal. I have it in the next room. And I literally wrote all of these things in this journal at like 15 years old. Yeah. And I found it one day when I was cleaning the studio. And I loved going back and reading it. But I went back and I read it. And I literally in this journal at 15 talked about how one day I'm going to move to Nashville and I'm going to make country music for a living. And I talked about how I wanted a golden retriever and her name was going to be Melody and we're going to call her Mel. I talked about all of this stuff like many, many years before. And so you can't imagine now being an adult and you go back and you're like, man, that is so cool. Like all these things I wanted to do. Yeah. I accomplished. And it's like, it's the same thing like with life in general. It's amazing.
Yep. Janelle being a rock star, putting your website in there for everyone as well.
You're getting bugs, honey.
Yep. Tracy says, really great comment. Hey, finally catching you live. Lost my job last Tuesday. I'm so sorry, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbroken, best job I ever had. Confession, I binged carb for 3 days, but back on track now. Good for you for being back on track. Do not beat yourself up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you how many times in my life I used food
Mm-hmm.
to treat bad circumstances or frustration or emotions or any of those things I was dealing with. You're not alone, Tracy. I understand. And listen, we're not perfect. And this is why we don't beat each other up. And I'm so sorry about your job. I'm sure something better is going to be around the corner because life can't move forward and get better and progress and, change for good things if we don't move on from where we already are.
Yes.
And that can be painful sometimes. So I'm sorry about the job loss, but I'm confident that something better will come. And you have a whole bunch of bright things in your future. And the fact that you're back on track and it was 3 days instead of 3 weeks or 3 months, it could be so much worse.
Yeah.
So see the positive in that, and good for you for not only being back on track, but for coming here and having the courage to say, hey, confession, this is what I did, and now I'm fighting my way back. Let us know how we can support you. We are here for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So thank you for being here and sharing that.
Yes.
Barbara says Ash is one of the best. Her music video is so good, and the song resonates since Indiana is where I am.
Aw, thank you, Barbara. You're so
awesome.
sweet. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Purple Love and Nana, love the dog, but I would be in so much trouble. Allergic. Yeah, that's
not the dog for you.
Rick says, I love the mean comments. It shows there are other people worse off than me.
That's funny.
Ann says, wow, Chris, that is so cool.
Yes.
And Barbara says, both Chris and Ash are very talented with music.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
Rick says, Ash, you have such a great point. I need to stress my consistency over time. I was so unaware of how others suffer. Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. And Tanya says, Rick debunks the people who say this isn't sustainable long term. In your face. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. This can absolutely be done. Janelle says, hit the thumbs up, everyone. Like and subscribe. Yes, please. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Janelle.
Ann says, for those of you who've had channels mentioned, I want to let you know I've subbed. Happy Monday to you. That's
thanks, Ann.
Awesome.
Super
cool. We've got Rebecca. She has a channel. We have Caleb. He has a channel. Let's see.
Oh, it's a party.
Yeah, apparently it's a channel party. Rockin' Keto Amy has a channel. Yep. Let's see who else is in here that has channels. We've talked about. I feel like
we missed somebody.
We've talked about Sherry has a channel.
Yep, Sherry has a channel.
We've talked about. I believe Auntie says she has one video.
Subscribe to Auntie.
That's right. That's right. If you guys have a channel, go ahead and drop it in the comments, and maybe the moderators can grab those and just drop links in there. If you have a channel, let us know, and we can find your channel and pop it in there. So we like supporting everybody here. Jackie says, are you still streaming these lives on both channels? I always just click on the one that pops up in my feed and rarely know where I'm watching. Yes, Jackie, I'm currently streaming to both, and I will be for the foreseeable future until we grow the studio's channel to a point where I feel like people would know it was happening.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid if I do it just there right now, we're going to have like 4 people to tune in because people just, that does not fall in the algorithm the way the main channel does right now. Yeah. Eventually this will go only there, but it may take us a few years to get there. I don't know. We'll see. So
yeah, I think it's just more beneficial to do both.
Tracy says, anyone who hasn't tried the new Keto Chow Cherry Chill and Lemon Lime Twist, they're fantastic. Yes, those are salty flavors that are in the new batch of flavors. They're fantastic. So my Keto Chow link is in the description box. You can use it to get Keto Chow shakes, or you can use it to get salty, either one, from their website and get a discount. Love it. Jackie says, dude, that all your weight in 3 months, you're not a real carnivore critique made me swear at the TV. I'm currently salt and water and losing so slowly. I love this. Fork you judgy jerks.
Oh my God. Jackie, I made this still bad.
You're very funny, Jackie. We appreciate that. That's how it makes us feel too. So.
Yeah.
Rebecca says, hey, Caleb, how can I get in touch with you? I just talked to Carrie Mann and he doesn't have your contact either. Yeah. So Rebecca and Caleb, if you want, both of you can send me an email, info@chriscookingnashville.com. And if you want, I'll just share both of your emails with each of you. And that way you can get a hold of each other that way. So you don't have to put it out here publicly.
Yeah.
Rick makes a great point. Overweight and healthy is better than skinny and unhealthy.
That's
right. Because it's not about how you look. It's about what's going on inside. The skinniness is a symptom of good health. Sometimes you can be skinny and unhealthy. My weight will be a symptom of my improving health, and it will happen in time as my body is ready. Okay, we have, I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce it again and again, probably is how you would pronounce that. Can't wait to make those crackers, Caleb's mom. Well, hello, cool. Caleb's mom. Awesome. We are so glad that you're here, and I hope you guys really enjoy. Let's see. Jackie says salt and ruminants, not salt and water. I wish you could edit your comments after they go up. LOL.
Same.
Yes. Well, I think the reason they do that is because if you say something live and then you go back and you edit it after the fact, and I'm not going through the live chat to make sure people aren't editing and spamming or doing other things, that would be potentially a major problem. So I'm sure that's why they don't do that. But yes, salt and ruminants. Love it. Carrie says, Chris, that was coming from the pastor's wife yesterday. Carrie, just because you're a pastor or a pastor's wife does not mean you have to be a decent human being. So I'm sorry.
Sure.
Just, pray for the people that need help. That's all I can say. Lewis says, just want to give a shout out to Chris for translating my typanese and saying what I meant and not what I typed. Little phone keyboards are not my friend. It's
we
okay,
know what
Lewis.
you mean. Yeah.
Listen, I fat thumb it myself all the time, so I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so good at translating it, because I know what my thumbs are accidentally doing. So, Margaret says, Carrie, your feelings are always okay. Please give yourself permission to feel, and then the feeling will pass. That's my experience anyway. Some people are just nasty, and that's okay. Feel it, and then let it go and go on. Cheryl says, thanks for your opinion about Hero. I'll check out your recipes. Hero is extremely expensive. Yeah, Cheryl, if you're looking for specific recipes, feel free to send me a message, send me an email. Just be like, hey, do you have a recipe for blah, blah, blah? Go to my YouTube channel, search Chris Cooking Nashville, and whatever thing you're looking for, if I have a video, it should pop up. And if you don't see one and think maybe I might have it, feel free to message me. I'm happy to let you know. So yeah. But as far as the bread replacements, I have several things like that I can help you out with. So can't find what you're looking for. Margaret says to my mom, I too am a grammar Nazi. LOL. To me, it's a good thing. Caleb says, I'm homeschooled as well. Homeschoolers unite. Ash and I were both homeschooled.
Both homeschooled.
Yep. My mom says, thank you for the compliment. You can call me brilliant anytime you want. And my dad says, mom is almost as brilliant as dad.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to let the two of you battle that one out when she gets home from work today.
Right.
Becky Lewis here. Good morning, Chris and Ash. Love you both so much. I'm so grateful for your love and help on so many levels. God bless you both. Well, God bless you, Becky. Thank you for being here.
We love you, friends.
Rick says, I've never been to a conference or meetup. It's out of my price range. I am the oddball who always hated sweet things. I equated sweets with girly things and meat with manly things.
Yeah.
He says he has coconut trees in his yard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about being in like the Floridian sun down there, especially like Miami and south of there. If you want coconuts, they're all around.
I was going to say they're probably there.
Cranky Carnivore. Whenever work lunches were catered by barbecue joints, when everyone else was having dessert, I was having more meat. And there you go. And he says, I wish I ate that way all the time. I'd have so much less aches and pains now. Yeah. Right there with you. Holly Springer is here. Good afternoon. I'm recovering from surgery and noticed, unlike my past surgeries, when I was eating more carbs, I don't have an appetite.
Interesting. Well, I hope your surgery went well, Holly.
So a lot of times when you're recovering, be it sickness, surgery, any of that kind of stuff, a lot of times your body turns off hunger signals because it goes into a deep level of ketosis to heal. It's really cool. So if you're not hungry, don't eat. It's kind of a superpower you get.
It kind of is, yeah.
Cheryl Cobbett is here, says, do you think having 18% cream in coffee can cause a weight stall? Since starting carnivore almost a year ago, I crave coffee. I've probably tripled my coffee consumption. So, Cheryl, yes, it is very possible that dairy might cause a weight stall for you. And this is individual for every person. I think dairy probably makes me lose weight a lot slower. I have switched to using butter in our coffee.
Yep.
So I pour the coffee over as much butter as you like in a blender, blend it all up. It turns it into an emulsion. And then if you like iced coffee, you pour it over ice and it solidifies that emulsion so it won't separate. And it's really good. Butter, pinch of salt, or drops of iodine. That's what we have in our coffee every day. But it is possible that the cream may be causing a weight stall for you. You know, you just have to experiment. Try taking it out for a month, see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe try butter instead if you can get on board with that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Carnivore Transformation says, viewers, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more amazing CCN content. Chris deserves it. You are very kind. We love you. We appreciate you very much. John says, eating some carbs doesn't make you a failure. You'll never be a failure unless you give up and go bad to a sad way of eating. Absolutely.
Very true.
Absolutely. The only way to fail is to quit. John also says, I go strict carnivore, all meat for a couple of days after eating too many carbs, usually after vacation. Yeah. And you can do that. You can fast for a day. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways. You know, it works different for everybody, but like hit it hardcore the next day and just be like, all right, that was more carbs than I needed. Let's burn it out.
Yeah.
And let's keep going. I do the same thing. If I have a cheat meal, which is very rare, but if I have a cheat meal, whatever, if I have anything like that, the next day it's like beef and eggs. And I fast most of the day until dinner time, and then I stuff myself full of beef and eggs. That's what I do. Janelle says, nothing tastes better than feeling good. Keeps me on track. Feeling good lasts much longer than a cheat meal. I agree. Ulrike, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So sorry. I'm a redneck who doesn't do names that are not things that I'm used to. But if I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize. She says, I have to be carnivore because of ME/CFS, but the cravings still super carb addicted still after 2 years. I get it. And that's the thing for some people, the cravings just really are hard. Now, I do have to say, are you having anything that tastes sweet, like even like electrolytes that have stevia? Because if you're having cravings, one of the best things you can do is, first of all, take away all sweet flavors, even the artificial, like keto approved sweetener stuff like stevia, allulose, any of that. Take that out. The other thing, every time you have a craving, put some salt on your tongue. That's what I used to do when I would fast, when I was first really trying to get this all under control. John says, I try to not have cheat days or weeks. I usually just grab a bite or single item with high carbs on the rare occasion that I do eat carbs. And that's the thing. Don't make it a day. If you're going to do it, make it a meal, make it a single item, whatever, and go right back to what you got to do. If you can avoid it, avoid it. But if you're going to do it, that's a much better way to do it. Ann says, dudes, I'm so stoked. I just found out Keto Chow is only 12 minutes away from where I work. Guess where I'm going for lunch? Any flavors I should try out?
Awesome.
My favorite is probably the banana bread. And then I really love the strawberry cream. I don't have Keto Chow very regularly because I don't do sweet keto type stuff like that. But when I do, those are some of my favorites. What are your favorites?
So I will say this. I have not tried a Keto Chow flavor that I do not like. My current favorite, though, is actually the chocolate peanut butter. Super good.
Yep.
The toffee one we had was really good.
Yeah, the toffee
butterscotch. Was good. Honestly, they're all really good. One of my favorite, I think, is just honestly, they're just chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally just going to taste like the best chocolate milkshake you've ever had. And
absolutely.
Super good. Kind of jealous that Ann's that close to Keto Chow.
Well, I would like to be able to go over, and even if I didn't have any Keto Chow, I just want to go over and see all of our friends at Keto Chow. We love everyone there.
If you see Chris and Miriam, tell them we said hello.
That's right. Dorinda Brown is here, says hello. Twice I'm catching lives. Last night and today is my first. Just put your bread recipe in the oven. Can't wait to see how it tastes. Dorinda, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any trouble, because it can take a couple of tries to get it right, right? Because it's not the easiest recipe in the world. If it comes out and you feel like it's not as good as it should be, it sinks, it's too memory foamy, anything. Any issues, you message me, you let me know, and I'll help you diagnose what went wrong so we can get you to nail it the second time. Hopefully it comes out perfect. But if it doesn't, let me know and we'll help you. And I hope you really enjoy that recipe.
Yeah.
I love that recipe.
When it's done right, that bread is so good.
And once you do it right the first time, you get it exactly how it works. It's like, oh, okay, now I can do it every time. But it takes a little bit. It's like anything. You have to learn it. You have to do it the first time sometimes. Some people learn it right off the bat. They just get it right away. Some people have to try a couple of times before they get it right. But I'll help you out no matter what. So, but I hope you enjoy that. And I'm so glad you're here live with us. Welcome.
Yeah.
Keto Simple Dustin says rest stop time. Dustin's got a piddle.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That's how I translated it. Auntie says, I am having cattywampus today, watching and chatting on the laptop, listening from the phone. Hey, there you go.
Hey. Auntie's figuring it out.
Amy says, loved Ash's video. Didn't realize Chris did the editing. It's so cool knowing famous people.
Oh, I don't know about that. You're
knowing famous people is awesome. If I ever know one, I'll let you know.
I'll let you know. I have to. Can I brag on you? Am I allowed to brag on you?
Course.
Yeah. Well, my husband is so multi-talented. I mean, clearly he cooks and does all this, but yeah. So I think because so many people just see my name with it, and I mean, yes, I wrote the song by myself. I do clearly a lot of the work, but yeah. So Chris actually on the track though that you guys hear, that's actually Chris playing lead guitar. So him and I record all the guitar parts. So he does all the lead stuff and all on that song. And then, yeah, he filmed and edited that entire music video. And he's just great. I don't know if y'all know that, but he's crazy, stupid talented in all these different ways.
I thought you were just going to say I'm crazy, stupid and stop
crazy,
there.
Stupid, talented. No. See, you try to be nice to him. He's like, I don't know. It's like, stop. Let me pay you a compliment. Accept it.
You're very sweet.
But yeah, if you watch my video though, just props to Chris because he works really, really hard. And he had a deal when he was editing it with me sitting there like, move this, move that. And he took it like a champ. He's great.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Listen, it saves us anywhere from probably $5,000 to $10,000 for me to do those music videos. So
well, and he gets lots of practice with the YouTube channel because usually I film the videos with him, so I'll be behind the camera filming,
right?
And then he comes up here and he edits them, so he gets lots of practice.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but to have a music video like what we did for her for that, if you pay for a video company to come film and edit and do all that kind of stuff. That's probably a $5,000 to $10,000 project
easily,
which is why we can afford to put those things out because for us it just costs to have her hair and makeup done, and I did everything else for free. It's the only reason we can afford to do it because we ain't got that kind of money.
Yeah.
So
wait, we don't? No. What?
No. Listen, as my dad would say, I ain't got $5,000 to $10,000 sitting around doing nothing. I even got $5,000 to $10,000 sitting around doing something.
Doing something. That's funny.
One of the funniest things my dad's ever said.
Yeah.
He's probably sitting there laughing going, I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Dorinda says, I said last night my daughter and son-in-law saw our results in the carnivore diet, so they decided to try it. My daughter is already feeling better and down 2 pounds. She's thrilled. Dorinda, I am so glad. Encourage your daughter and your son-in-law to come be a part of the community with us here so they can share their story as they succeed and so we can support them.
Yes.
Just like we would love to support you and would just love to have them be a part of the big old family here at Chris Cooking Nashville.
Definitely.
Kathy says, I always wanted to have twin girls and name them Melody and Harmony. I never have kids, so when we adopt sister pups, we named them Honey Melody and Sugar Harmony.
How cute.
I love it.
That's amazing. We've talked about many years from now when Miss Mel crosses the Rainbow Bridge, we're going to probably get another golden retriever and name her Harmony. So that's so sweet. I love that, Kathy.
Auntie says to @ her with your channel's names. So if you guys have a channel that you would like featured that she has not already put up, because she's put them up. If you haven't already done so, drop your channel name in there and then she can put a link to it because she's a moderator.
Oh, and I need to watch that. She said my one hilarious video.
Yes.
So that's the one video that Auntie has.
Absolutely. We'll go watch it.
I'll watch it.
Rock and Keto Amy says, thank you, Chris and Ash. There's Auntie's one hilarious video.
Awesome.
Caleb's Carnivore Quest thumbs upping.
Thanks.
John says, don't forget about the Groovy Grapefruit Salty, the best of the new salty flavors. They nailed the Ruby Red flavor. I agree.
They really did.
It is the best grapefruit, most accurate grapefruit flavor anything I've ever tasted.
It's awesome.
There is Janelle with Caleb's channel. We'll definitely make sure
Janelle.
to subscribe to that. Everybody else too.
Yes.
Sherry says, just got caught back up listening on 2 times speed, eating CCN crackers with cheese and pepperoni.
There you go.
Yes.
Man, those crackers are so good.
They're stupidly good.
Yeah.
Stupidly good. I'm going to make some of those soon.
Yes.
John says, yep, fat fingers and mobile keyboards are not a good combination. Dustin says, Caleb, I've been listening. It's so great you're making content at your age. Yes.
Totally.
Awesome. Absolutely. Let's see. Carrie says, thank you, Chris. I did pray, have Ash's page, and will watch her music video. Always helps me. Excellent,
Thank you,
my
Carrie.
friend.
I appreciate that, bud.
There is Rebecca's channel. Rebecca does some recipes and some cool stuff. We love her channel. Cranky Carnivore says, fat fingers is why I use the voice recorder to create texts on my phone.
Same here.
Love it. Sherry says, I'm the oddball who doesn't eat when going through stress. Not a carb or sugar eater now. I eat this way to be healthy and off meds and control the weight. And that's great.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I was not the emotion eater that I am. Dustin says he'll be subscribing to Caleb, as will we.
Sweet.
Auntie says, bummer, I forgot my salty when I left for mom's.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I started putting some salty packets in our glove box. I know that makes me sound like a big salty fangirl, but I am.
Yep.
But yeah, that way if we're out and about or on tour, we always have some.
And Caleb makes a good point. Anything that's not meat, salt, water, or eggs might keep cravings going. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're struggling, look really carefully at what you're eating and see if maybe there's some things in there that might be spawning that. So it's a, we all have to do our N=1 experiment and figure it out. So
absolutely.
Caleb, you're pretty smart for being 16, man.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of research in this space. It's awesome. Auntie says, if I'm going to have an off-plan carb, I try to consume it with a lot of protein. That's absolutely. A great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, if you stuff yourself with protein and then have just a little bit of that thing, it's a lot easier to not overdo it.
Yeah.
Sherry says, cheating for me is popcorn. Popcorn, yellow stripe, smile. I'm assuming there's an emoji there.
Right.
I'm just real careful that day and the next couple of days after I eat it. And that's the thing. If you're going to do it, be smart about it, Let's see. Purple of Non. I can't wait to add Keto Chow back to my eating after I end my BBBE month. 4 more days.
That's
excellent.
Awesome.
So glad you're doing that and you're almost there to the end of it. That's awesome. John says, so many good Keto Chow favorites are toffee, chocolate, the potato and mushroom soup, and vanilla because I can make other flavors from it. Yeah, that's the cool thing. If you guys didn't know, take the vanilla Keto Chow, buy flavor extracts, and you can mix your own flavors too.
It's pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have a really interesting video that's going to be coming up where we do Keto Chow shakes in a new way. It's going to be fun. Y'all hang out.
It's going to be awesome.
Yep. We had one the other night. Oh, it was so good.
It was really good.
It's the first time I've had Keto Chow in several months.
Long time.
But, it was so good. Auntie says the warehouse at Keto Chow is so cool and everyone who works there or owns it are amazing. I've been a couple of times to visit. That's awesome. I really hope we get to go out there soon.
Yeah, I would love that. We just love them. They're just great people.
Ann says, Yummo, thank you so much for the recommendations. And Sherry says, Caleb Carnivore Quest, you are very knowledgeable for such a young. And I agree.
Yes.
I agree. And that's the thing. We should be encouraging people in this way. Like, I'm 16, but I've done all this research and I've changed my life way younger than most of the rest of us in the community got around to doing it. That's amazing.
Yep.
John says rest stop time means gas station hot dogs for me. Love it.
I love that.
Auntie says that Indiana video was so sweet.
Oh, thank you, Auntie.
Sherry says, love the video, but what was the reason for not using yourselves as the couple in love?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. But one, if we were the couple in love, then who would film the video? So that was kind of the big thing. There wasn't a way to basically put ourselves in there.
Yeah.
Because Chris had to film it and I had to sing it and all that. Also, when you are something very common in music videos, and sometimes they'll break this rule, but there's kind of like that wall, the fourth wall. And so to me, really, as the singer, it's my job to really tell a story. And sometimes just to have it come across better, it's kind of a rule of thumb when you're making music videos. And we had people in the industry actually give advice and talk through kind of this kind of stuff with us. They talked about how you don't want to break that wall. Yeah,
it's a marketing technique. When you break, it's called the fourth wall. When suddenly you're not just a performer, but now you're like almost like you're aware of the audience and the audience is aware of you.
Yeah.
It's called breaking the fourth wall. And it's a marketing thing where if you break the fourth wall, it has to be for a very specific reason. And so it's like, imagine a TV commercial where there's a story going on and two people are talking, and suddenly one person looks at the camera and directs something they say to the audience. That's an intentional breaking the fourth wall, because now it's the character within the scene is aware of the audience and interacts with them in a different way. It would do a similar kind of a thing for us to be the couple in the video, but it would make it very hard to go back and forth between the story and her expression as an artist telling the story.
Yeah.
It would start to confuse things because it would pull the audience too much into our personal story. And so it was a intentional marketing choice, but it's a great question.
Yeah, it really is. Well, and I think as people know you and me, and you know, like what it's about, which is like, yes, I wrote it about you, but you know, it's kind of the thing. So
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. We love questions.
We do.
Amy says, Chris, you mean you can't do Ash's hair and makeup?
Oh gosh, no.
I can do it. She's not going to let me, but I could do it.
Amy, let's be honest. I struggle to do my own hair and makeup most days. I don't know what I look like if I let Chris do it.
She'd look like this.
You just like spike my hair all up
like
this.
That's right.
I'd have spikes and glasses.
That's right. You look
like
a mad scientist with your hair sticking up like a peacock.
Yep. I'd be scared. Auntie
with a $10 super chat. You are so sweet. Auntie, we love you. Thanks for being you. Authentic, sincere. Words are hard. Amazing and famous. I don't know about that, Auntie. But you were very, very sweet. We appreciate you so much.
So sweet.
And Janelle says, thank you, Shauna, for supporting CCN. You are a rock star. You are both rock stars. All of you guys watching are rock stars. We love all of you.
For reals.
Lewis says, I have a channel cat in the cooler for dinner. Does that count for a channel shout out? Yeah. There we go. I love it.
We're here for it.
Love it. I could go with some channel cat right now.
Yeah.
Jackie says, so looking forward to adding dairy back in. Crackers are near the top of the list. Butter powder arrives today. There you go.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I wouldn't eat them every day myself because they're a nice treat, but probably not something I would want to just eat on a regular basis. But man, they're really nice when you want to include something like that. So, you know, I'm trying to cut down on my dairy, but on the days that I have a little more dairy, that's the kind of stuff I like to do. You know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
For sure.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Barry Weems dropped in, says, good morning. Hello, my brother. Hope you're being safe.
Hi, Barry.
Caleb says, thanks, guys. Absolutely. I'm Cranky Carnivore. I have sardine cans in my glove box. There you go.
Come on now.
Dorinda says, bread is smelling amazing, but looking a little crazy. Baking has never been my thing, so all I can say is who cares what it looks like as long as it tastes good. And here's the thing. It bakes up a little different than real bread. I don't know if you guys know this, but Ash and I owned a micro sourdough bakery during the pandemic, and I made artisan handmade sourdough. So I know bread inside and out. I make the best bread I've ever eaten, and I could, honestly, I'll put my skills of bread making up against just about anybody. But even for me, it took me a year and a half to figure out how to get this recipe to go.
Yeah, it took a long
and it
time.
Still looks weird a little bit when I do it. Like it's just what the recipe does. But you know, if you need some help, I'll help you out. But as long as you enjoy it,
recipe, though.
It's so good once you get it right. It really, really is. John says, when I was on the 2KK cruise, I always had salty with me in my lanyard with my cruise card. It's a great thing. When we were on a cruise, we took salty with us.
Man, oh, totally. We brought a whole big bag, and we would just fill it up all the time. Oh, so amazing.
Yep. Sherry says, I wasn't aware that Chris filmed the video. Lordy, your talents expand. That is very interesting about the video making. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome.
Of course, yeah.
John says, that's the real question. Sure, I can do it, but should I? I definitely should not.
That's funny.
I definitely should not. This is the best I can do. I can spike my hair and I can put on some camo, and that's as far as my talents go there.
I have to say, though, I feel like if you did, for some weird reason, do my hair or makeup, I also maybe it would be crazy. Maybe my hair would be spiked. I also feel like you may be better because you're really good at drawing and you're super artistic. You may actually do my hair and makeup better than I
don't know about any of that.
I don't know. I mean, you're so good at everything else. Just add one more thing onto your plate, babe.
Yeah.
You got it.
Why not? Why not? Jackie says, the moment when CCN creations become your splurges. It's almost as if that's the intentional point of my recipes that help people stay more carnivore.
Yeah.
Jackie gets it.
Jackie's smart, man.
Jackie is very
smart. Jackie knows things. I've known this for a long time.
Love it.
She's awesome.
Caleb says he's not lying. The bread is awesome. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you guys enjoy that, Caleb.
Good stuff.
Dorinda wants to know, what is Salty? Well, Salty is a perfect pre-packaged in all of the right proportions electrolyte mix made by the same people that make Keto Chow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go in the description box, I have a link for Keto Chow at the bottom. You can click that link. It's going to take you to the Keto Chow website. And then at the top of the Keto Chow website, there's a little thing that says Salty. You can click that, and it is just sodium, magnesium, potassium, and then you can get the unflavored version, or you can get all different kinds of flavors that are sweetened with stevia. And it's a drink mix in a little packet. It's easy to take with you. You can pour it into a bottle of water, or if that's a little too strong for you, you can do like me and add it to like 64 ounces of water. Yeah, thumbs up for Salty. But you just mix it in, and that way you can get your electrolytes throughout the day, and it's really convenient. And for the amount of, this is one of the things I feel like I argue with people online all the time. They're like, well, this brand is cheaper. Right. But then when you look at the amount of sodium, magnesium, and potassium, you realize, okay, it costs 20% less, and you get half the amount of all of the things that are in it, which means it's actually more expensive for the amount of things you're getting. So Salty is the best price for the amount of all the things you get that I have found. And it's like $1 a packet is about what it comes out to. And one packet a day is all I need.
Yeah. I will say too, you know, when we first started Keto and Carnivore, we tried other electrolyte companies, and I would still have to supplement things like magnesium all, because I would still get like leg cramps and all that kind of stuff. But with Salty, like one a day, we're good. Also, I found it hard at first when we were trying other companies to actually drink enough electrolytes. I did not care for the flavor. It was hard for me to get into, but with Salty, I'm all about that.
Love it. By far our favorite, and Chris and Miriam are amazing people, so we will support their businesses because they are just doing good things, because they're just good people.
They're great products, but they're great people. Yeah.
Makes all the difference. We like to support small business like that.
Yep. Like Dr. Bayer says, vote with your dollars.
That's right. Auntie says, California girl, I so miss my San Francisco sourdough. That's my better not have more than one slice. Yeah. I understand. I understand.
I get it.
John makes a good point. Be careful with butter powder. It's got some carbs because it does have lactose in it.
Right.
Cooking with it is fine, not as a regular add-in for coffee. I wouldn't add it to coffee as like a creamer or anything. There's like a tablespoon in it of it in the entire batch of crackers that I make.
Which makes a bunch of crackers.
Right. It makes a bunch of crackers. So you're not getting that much, but you're correct. Anything dairy related like that usually has some trace dairy carbs. So just always want to double check. Also, in that video, I linked to the one I have. It does not have anti-caking agents, fillers, starches, maltodextrin. It doesn't have any of that. So make sure to read the ingredients list of any butter powder and make sure it's like mine, which was butter solids and some milk solids, and that's it. Make sure you're getting a clean one if you're getting one. So, and they're answering the, so Dorinda wants to know, is it like Element? It's similar to Element. I'm just going to give you my personal opinion. It tastes better, and Keto Chow is not going to play games with the whole maltodextrin maybe being in it, how much is and how much isn't, and whatever the whole deal was with Element. That's not the case. There is no maltodextrin even in the flavored ones, and I think it's a lot better than the Element personally. Also, it has higher amounts of magnesium and potassium, so you get more of the things that are better for you, and it's a little bit cheaper.
Yes.
You put those things all together, and I think it is a far superior choice to Element.
And the quality of ingredients that they use in the Salty electrolytes is just the best.
Element, the stevia is cheaper. It's a cheaper kind of stevia, so Element gave her headaches. The stevia in the Salty is a higher quality version. Chris Bayer explained this to us when we were at dinner with him one night over at KPL. He was explaining what the difference is, and she has a ragweed allergy, which means cheaper stevia gives her a headache as well. And Salty does not give her a headache because the high quality stevia is fine for her. So something to.
Salty is where it's at, man.
Yep. That's our favorite, and that's why we talk about it and have the affiliate links.
And if you drink Element, we're still friends. We love you. There's nothing wrong with it. But just Chris and I are saying, after a couple years of doing this, we find that Salty is just by far the more superior. Yep.
And here's John. Salty is the best tasting and cheapest high quality electrolytes available.
You're not wrong, man. Yeah.
Agree.
Totally agree.
Vintage Tink is here. Hello, Vintage Tink. She says, love the necklace, Chris. Thank you so much.
That's sweet.
Yep. Got to get my Jesus and my American flag on all at the same time.
That's right.
So, and if you don't agree with that and you don't have the same faith that I do, that's okay. I love you and you're welcome here. This channel isn't about, arguing over religion. It's just something that's important to me, and we just love all of you the same no matter what.
All friends here.
And Dorinda says, thanks. We'll have to try it for sure. Well, you're welcome, Dorinda. I hope you enjoy it.
It may really help you out.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Absolutely. Janelle says, indeed, with CCN recipes, who needs carb-filled cheats? That's right. And the more recipes we have that we can use, the less reasons we have to try those other things. So, John says, definitely better than Element and Zero Maltodextrin.
Yeah.
Purple Oven Nana, since I started exclusively using salty, I no longer get foot spasms and leg cramps at night. Yeah.
That's
awesome. Right. And same thing happened with my leg cramps. I started using salty and they all finally went away. I was drinking Element because we had some. I was drinking Element and I was taking magnesium capsules, and I was still waking up in the middle of the night with cramps in my calves.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah, really
I started drinking salty, all of it gone, no more magnesium capsules. And Auntie says, you will not find a keto company with an owner more upfront than Chris Bear.
True.
That's true.
True.
Literally, I can text Chris and go, hey, what's the deal with blah, blah, blah in your product? And he'll just flat out tell me.
Yep.
We were having a conversation the other day how he doesn't rope people into contracts that do affiliate work with him. And he was like, if you make a good product, you don't need to pin people down. And I was like, woohoo, there is some preaching right there.
Yeah, they are some good people.
WRP3, hello. I'm new to carnivore, which I thought was meat only, so I'm a little confused about your videos and using a lot of products to mimic all the bad foods. Well, this is a good question, so let's address this. Carnivore is a diet approach that is based on all animal product. A carnivore animal, the scientific definition is that they eat animal flesh. The carnivore way of life that we are living is to eat all animal products. Now, whether or not you include spices in that is up to you. So generally speaking, kind of the concept is meat, eggs, dairy as you can tolerate. That is up to each individual to decide. And then minerals, which would be your electrolytes. So salt, magnesium, potassium, trace minerals, all those kinds of things. And then if you choose to include spices or any of that kind of stuff, that is up to each individual to decide how strict or clean they want to be with carnivore, or how loosey-goosey they would like to go with that. So all of my recipes are based off of animal products. So I do include dairy, because if you're eating meat and eggs, go eat meat and eggs. You don't need to be making recipes. But if you want recipes for the occasion that you would like something special, but you don't want to compromise on the idea of eating carnivore where you're avoiding plant toxins and fiber and all the other things that plants can cause some issues for some of us, and you want to remain as low carb as possible while still enjoying those recipes, that's what my recipes are for, and that's why they're carnivore recipes. So it's a good question.
That's a great question. Yeah. And congrats on being new to carnivore.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's working out for you. That is awesome.
Yep,
Happy to hear
absolutely. Also, I would just want to address too, using products to mimic bad foods. So foods are not bad. That's a moral judgment. Foods are either healthy or not. And that's a biochemical thing. Products is a very generic term. So you have to decide, what do you mean by products? Because egg white powder is a egg white that has been freeze dried and turned into a powder. Ground beef is a piece of beef that has been ground up and put in a package. So is ground beef a packaged product?
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying there's a lot of dogmatic terminology that you are going to hear in the carnivore space, which is kind of what I think your question is sounding like. You have been hearing a lot of this dogmatic stuff elsewhere about the carnivore diet. And I understand, and for some people that's important. That's not the definition of a carnivore diet. That may be a stricter version of carnivore diet. Meat only would be, if it's a red meat or like a ruminant meat only, meat, salt, and water, that's called lion diet. And that's a very strict form of carnivore. If you go all the way up to all animal products like what I do with my recipes, it's a really loose, kind of dirty, lazy carnivore, as they call it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a whole spectrum. The black and white labels are just really not helpful. So if you like recipes like these and you like dairy to be an occasional part of your diet, use the recipes. If not, it's totally fine. But one is not somehow more right as carnivore than another. It's just where on the spectrum of the proper human diet do you sit. So hopefully that clears that up. Sherry says, thanks everybody for the new subs. I'm going to try to grow my channel, but it will be all about the dogs and maybe some kitties too. I will be the comic relief channel. Hey, we all love it.
Relief. That's awesome. Love it.
Janelle says, this is a great answer. Chris will use dairy in his recipes, which is still an animal product. He's just a wizard at using carnivore ingredients to make the things people miss on a carnivore diet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you've before in the past have called yourself, which I totally agree with, the gateway drug to carnivore.
That's right.
So it's like, if people are like, man, I want to try carnivore, but I don't think I could eat just meat. Like, what am I going to do about pasta or this family gathering or this social situation? It's like, well, that's when you would make a CCN recipe.
That's right.
That's right. But it's, I'd rather eat Chris's carnivore noodles, which is made out of chicken and, eggs and different things like that, than go off the wagon and go eat normal pasta.
Also, if you're trying to inspire your family to maybe consider carnivore, how cool is it to show up to the party and instead of having a box of Ritz crackers, you have a box of, or a tray of my carnivore Ritz crackers, and everybody goes, these are amazing. And you go, right, see, carnivore is not hard.
Yeah.
That's how you help change the world.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not by sticking to strict definitions and then claiming things don't work if it doesn't adhere to that, because that's not right.
Yeah.
So, that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
John says, Chris Bear won't talk about out of stock or new flavors, but he always makes sure it's the best quality before it ships. Absolutely.
Very true.
They test everything. He gets test batches of flavors that he and Miriam drink before they will approve it and then send it out to the rest of you guys. I don't know if you know that, but he goes like hardcore.
Yeah. Keto Chest Salsa, they're just awesome, man. I'm telling you, they are so great.
Lisa says, I do appreciate the cleaner ingredients in Keto Chow, but unfortunately I just don't care for the salty. I wish I did. That's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's taste is different.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you could also get the unflavored ones and then add your own flavors and your own sweeteners.
That is
you
true.
could totally do that. Or you can just make electrolyte mix at home. You can buy all the stuff.
Sometimes after I would go for a run, I started doing the clean slate, just the normal, like whatever. I don't know if you've tried that, Lisa, but that was really good.
Just the unflavored.
Just the unflavored plain stuff. Super
it's fantastic.
Good.
Dorinda says, I do a lot of farmers markets in the summer and end up with horrible leg cramps at the end of the day. So if salty helps, I will be forever grateful. Yes. If you're outside doing things like that, try that, because it makes a huge difference. And you may actually want to have more than one packet a day if you're sweating heavily, because if you're sweating, you're losing electrolytes. But see, this is a great example of why salty is helpful. You have those electrolytes to replenish, and you can keep them in the little packets. So you can drink one, and then if it's gone and you're like, man, I'm still sweating, I'm still working hard, I'm thirsty, have another. Have as many as you need. You can carry them with you. And then if you don't need them, don't open them, take them back, and you still have them for another day. But yeah, when it's summertime, if we're outside and we're sweating hardcore, we'll have 2-3 a day.
Totally, yeah.
So, you have as many as you need.
It will really help your leg cramps. I also think you'll find you'll sleep a lot better. I mean, there's a lot of health benefits to electrolytes I don't think we realize.
Absolutely. WRP3 says, thank you so much for clearing this up. You're very welcome. We are here to help and try to educate however we can. And if you have questions, you are always welcome here. And we're very glad that you're here in your carnivore. So good on you.
Yeah. And thanks for asking such a great question.
Absolutely.
Too. Like that's awesome.
Absolutely. Dorinda wants to know, what is your take on cold cuts? Read the ingredients, and as long as they're clean or they work for you to the best of your ability, go for it. It's meat. And I know people are like, cheap processed meat is not good for you. Actually, sometimes it's really good for you, because when they do processed cheap meat, they're including more of the connective bits and the collagen and all the other stuff we don't want to necessarily chew down. That's the good stuff health-wise. So I eat processed things like the cold cut type stuff all the time. I just find the one that has little to no sugar, and just make sure I'm not, getting a whole bunch of crap that I don't need.
There you go.
And if you can make your own without the junk, even better. Vinci Tink says, I enjoy stuff like the crackers using low carb ingredients. Since I work night shift as an RN and I'm in a nurse prac school, these types of healthy snack foods come in handy. I've lost close to 130 pounds. Rock
that's awesome. Come on.
And that's a great example. It's, people are like, you shouldn't snack on carnivore. Great. Tell that to someone who's a nurse who is up and down and back and forth, in and out, and they got to grab a handful of whatever they can, whenever and wherever they can. And yeah, you can fast, sure, but how hard does that get when you are starving hungry and you have to grab a bite here and a bite there because you are so busy as a nurse. People don't have a clue what nurses go through. So Vintage Tank, thank you for the work that you do and for the lives that you impact.
Yes.
So what a great story too.
Yes.
Jackie says, I just love how watching this live, I'm just nodding and nodding and nodding along with your points. Call me a carnivore bobblehead. Love it.
That's amazing.
I love it. John says, electrolytes are the only supplement needed on keto carnivore diets. It's my favorite benefit. 0 vitamin or mineral deficiencies after 3 years of ketovore, no supplements other than salty. Yeah. The only other thing I would suggest is, depending on if you get enough high iodine foods or not, you may also want to supplement some iodine, just depending on your diet. You can get iodine naturally, but a lot of people don't tend to eat the stuff that you get iodine from. So it's the only thing we use is iodine in our coffee and our salty.
Yep.
That's it.
That's how we do it.
And let's see. John also says clean slate is almost tasteless. It makes purified water taste like mineral water. Yep, that's been our experience. Love it. And my dad says my mom uses the clean slate flavor and adds some true lime or orange powder.
That's good.
Perfect. That's what you do. John says nose to tail as long as it's not loaded with sugar like honey ham. Amen. Lewis says, I've watched every video you posted. I see a lot of questions about carnivore and keto, and you always have a great response to clear up your channel. However, I've not yet seen a video with Nashville. This is Chris Cook's Nashville, isn't it? Yes, it is. So I need to do a little something on the channel where maybe we start incorporating Nashville a little bit. I'm sure we could do some more.
We have ideas. We've talked about it before.
Yeah. Keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out.
Barry says it is 100% better than Element without hidden ingredients. I agree.
I'm a Barry.
I agree. Just my opinion, our opinion, but I would totally agree.
Yeah.
Rick says, I have never used any electrolytes. Yeah, and this is a really good point. The longer you do this, the less you usually need electrolytes because you don't shed them so much anymore. Rick, because he's been doing this so long and he started so young, has probably never had to experience that electrolyte imbalance. Many of us who are trying to flush all the toxins and the healing and stuff. So if you're like Rick, or if you get to that point in your journey, you probably get to where you don't need them at all anymore.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's really cool, Rick.
Margaret says Genoa salami rocks. I agree.
Word. Yes, truth.
I agree. And Amy says, how much iodine do you use? I've seen different things without doing a 24-hour urine test. How do you figure it out? So Amy, here's the deal. Our kidneys and livers for both of us work great. So if I get extra, I'm not worried about it. You can go do a test if you're worried about it. But what we use is a 2% Lugol's iodine. And in fact, Dorinda is just asking where I get it. I get it from Amazon. So if you get iodine, a 2% Lugol's iodine, we get like J. Crow's or other kinds on there. Just search 2% Lugol's iodine on Amazon. You can use my Amazon link in the description box. Just click on that, and then I get a little credit for you going and buying that. Doesn't change the price for you. We appreciate that very much. Maybe Ash can even drop something in there. But if you go to Amazon and you get a 2% Lugol's iodine, each of us has 10 drops a day. Now that's quite a bit. Anywhere from 1 to 2 is what Dr. Barry used to recommend for people. Then he did an interview with a doctor who's all about iodine, and I decided to really up our iodine because I don't think we were getting near enough.
Yes.
So we now do 10 drops a day. You probably don't need that many, but 2, 3, 4 drops a day, and you can go have a test and kind of go from there and, figure out what you want to do. So.
And I am dropping a link actually on Amazon right now.
Excellent.
For anyone who's interested.
Yeah. Rick says that's a very good point about the electrolytes. And Dorinda says, thank you. And now Janelle makes a good point. Unfortunately, true lime or lemon does have maltodextrin. It does. It is a very, very small amount. So if it's something that you don't want to use, I don't use true lime or true lemon or any of that kind of stuff. We just use lemon juice or lime juice. But if you want to use it, just know that there is some maltodextrin in there. For some people, that's a huge deal. For others, not so much. So each of you, kind of has to decide for yourselves what you do or don't want to use, but just know that it is in there. And Auntie says, I use my morning coffee for iodine delivery. Us too.
Delicious.
Yep. Janelle says she still buys it, but she uses it sparingly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cranky Carnivore uses 20 drops per day. So he gets even double the amount we do. So Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, people are different, but I know I definitely noticed a big difference when we started putting iodine in our coffee. Huge difference
for us. So
big difference.
Well, guys, we are almost 3 hours into this. I'm going to have a guitar student showing up here in a little bit, and I'm going to have a Dustin from Keto Simple showing up here in a while
You
too.
got everyone showing
I've got
up
everybody
here.
showing
Wow.
up today, and we got a busy afternoon ahead of us. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for being here. All my links are down below. Do not forget the free ebook that is scrolling. You can go to the website and get, and don't forget the private community. If you want support, you want more motivation, there's amazing stuff in there, extra recipes, all kinds of stuff that we do. I post what we're having for dinner regularly, like all kinds of fun, and we're just all interacting in there. We just love that, and we would love for you to come join the private community. You get more direct access to us. My parents are in there. Dustin and Victor are both in there. Pastor Bob is in there.
Everyone's
a bunch
there.
of people here in the chat are all in there. Like, it's amazing. So y'all come and join us in the private community and just get that extra support. All my other links are down below. We love all of you guys. Thank you for being here. And we will see all of you very, very soon. One question, Amy says, I placed an order for some items yesterday through your Amazon link. Do you get credit for everything I purchase after using your link, or just the one item? I get credit for the whole purchase. If you click my Amazon link and order something within 24 hours of you clicking that link and signing in, I get credit for that sale of the whole purchase, whatever items are eligible, basically. Doesn't change the price for you. It's a free way you guys can support the channel. It's a few pennies, but every penny counts, right? So if you use my Amazon link, it doesn't even have to be in my shop. You can just click my link and then go search for whatever you want, and I still get the credit for the click. It's a free way to support the channel. We can't do this without all of you. So thank you guys so much for what you do. We love all of you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. This is Chris Cooking Nashville, my beautiful wife, Ash Taylor. You guys eat your meat, love your life, stay motivated, and get your mindset right. And we'll see you, if not before, next Saturday, this coming Saturday for a recipe video, next week on Monday Morning Motivation, and tomorrow we'll have Mr. Dustin here.
Wow. The beard will be
in the house. Will be literally in this building.
Wow.
All right. We'll see you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.